Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
What is up? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Undisputed live from Los Angeles. I'm Holly Saunders here. You know these two, Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. What's up?
Hey, Skip, how you doing?
Yeah, so I had to sit and watch last night. LeBron James take advantage of this poor old man. I couldn't believe it. It was shameful. Just shameful.
You like that fourth quarter?
Really? He's a poor old man. He's on his last legs. He's got two bad knees.
And then what happened? Put
Yeah.
that D on him.
Yeah.
Did you see? LeBron
listen.
can't play D.
Yeah.
D'd him up.
6'9" versus 6'4". I think I'll
Stop
take
it.
6'9" every time.
You know what,
That's just
Skip?
me.
You need
I
to
don't
stop.
know. I don't know.
Hi, Holly.
Good
Yeah.
morning.
Hey.
I was upset about that, but I'm more upset about what we're about to talk about
Why?
right now.
He wants to get right into it.
You like Vegas.
Yeah, well, not anymore.
Somebody's not getting the respect they deserve, according to Skip. Let's start with the Cowboys. They've won 5 straight after beating the Eagles in overtime on Sunday. Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper, of course, connected for 3 touchdowns in that game, but they're still not getting a lot of respect. Dallas opened as a 3-point underdog for Sunday's game on the road against the Colts. And on the other side, the Colts are also on fire, though, winning 6 of their last 7. So, Shannon, should Dallas be an underdog?
I believe they should, Skip. For the simple fact, I believe Indy has been equally as hot as the Dallas Cowboys. As Holly read, they won their last 6 out of 7, and the only loss came in a 6-0 ball game loss to Jacksonville. And if you look at Andrew Luck, he's playing at an MVP level. He got off to a slow start, and we questioned, is his shoulder healthy? Is he healthy? But if you look at him since this winning streak, he's been unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
The Colts do a great job of protecting him. The Colts offensive line is second in sacks allowed. He's only been sacked 16 times. And what happened early in his career, Skip, he got beat up. A lot of it, his offensive line didn't protect him.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it, once he broke the pocket, he didn't know when the journey was over.
Mm-hmm.
He was unwilling to get down or get out of bounds. He was trying to always fight for those extra yards.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up costing him a season and a half, a lot of season 2 injuries.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the Colts defense, they're good against the rush, 8 against rush, 6 against rush yards allowed. And they're a different team at home. We saw what the Cowboys were able to do at home. They beat a very, very good New Orleans Saints team, stymied them, held them to 13 points. Drew Brees were in the catbird seat for the MVP, and thanks to the old Cowboys defense. I like old Cowboys defense.
Yeah.
They
Liked them that
they
night.
did a number on him and got my homeboy back in the front.
Yeah.
And they did a very good job against Carson Wentz. He did not look very good early on in that ball game, although he had some great throws late. So, Skip, I get it. Vegas is looking at it like, you know what, guys, I understand. But Indy is very good at home. They've been very good of late. And I can see this basically what they're saying because the home team normally gets 3 points. So they're basically saying this is really a pick 'em game. So, and I'm going to pick, and you already know I'm picking.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm going to start to get some of my cases back this week.
So, Shannon Sharpe has still not learned his lesson. Again and again and again, he doubts. And again, he loses case after case of Diet Mountain Dew.
Okay, I'm hard-headed.
The breakfast of champions, the nectar of the gods. And once again, you're going to fall even deeper into the swimming pool of Diet Mountain Dew that you have lost to me already because you lost another case. So we're up to 11, but we have 6 cases pending on the outcome of the NFC East. And I now lead that by 2 games with 3 games to go. So it could be clinched if my Cowboys shock the world and go up to Indy and somehow win yet another game. So, as you know, I always guess the odds before I look at them. I looked at them this morning at 2:15 a.m. and I fell out of my chair, just like I was falling out of my chair Sunday late in the Cowboy game.
So you thought the Cowboys would be favored?
I did usually I think, okay, what's the worst case? I thought it would be pick 'em at the worst case. I thought maybe they'd be favored by a point or 2 because I'm going to remind you, they are not only America's team, they are America's betting team. So they always get penalized by Las Vegas for their popularity, where points will be subtracted from them to try to make people to bet on them because you're making it more, where you're
enticing people.
You're actually enticing people not to bet on them because they're going to bet on them anyway.
Right.
And all of a sudden, trust me, this spread will get bet backward because people are going to jump all over this today at -3, and it'll become -2, -1. I'm not going to be shocked if it finishes at Cowboys at Pick'em because Las Vegas clearly is still not buying into the Cowboys. And I am shocked by that because they are already buying completely back into Andrew Luck. And finally, after all these many years, he is starting to live up to his pre-draft hype. And I was never the biggest Andrew Luck fan, as you well know. Going into that draft, I said, I'm taking RG3 barely. I loved what Washington did to go up and get RG3. And he backed me up for 1 year. He was the offensive rookie of the year, and Andrew Luck struggled. And Andrew Luck turned into a beat-up, knocked down, dragged out turnover machine for those first, 4 years of his career.
Right.
And he was just a disaster shell of himself because he took a shellacking. So they've shored up their offensive line. They took the kid from Notre Dame, the guard, and they're much better. And they have been arguably the hottest team in football, unless we can make a case that my team's the hottest team in football. So the two seasons have carefully, closely mirrored each other, right? Because these guys started out 1-5. They finally got to 3-5, which is where my team hit bottom at 3-5 after the Monday night game, the debacle to Tennessee, right?
Yep.
That was your golden shining moment of this football season, and I was down for the count. But since then, would you believe Las Vegas keeps saying no, 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 no to the Dallas Cowboys? And would you believe over the last 5 games, they have beaten the spread all 5 times? So they have covered 5 straight games. And the last 4 times my Cowboys have been underdogs, they have won the game outright.
Yeah.
How many times did that happen? And may I count the ways quickly? They were underdogs to Jacksonville when Jacksonville was still riding high, the number 1 defense.
Stop.
I'm starting because that's where it all started, and that was the one aberration game. There was no Amari Cooper for that game. Dallas 40, Jacksonville 7 as a 3-point underdog. And then they go to the Eagles when everybody had written them off, including the man across the table from me who was just doubling down on every bet. And they were 7.5-point underdogs, and they won the game outright on the field, 27-20. Then they go to Atlanta, and I doubted them. I didn't think they could win at Atlanta because Atlanta was still flying pretty high.
No, they hadn't.
Well,
no, they were not. Look at Atlanta now.
Point. Atlanta was a 3.5 favorite at home, and somehow Dallas won 22-19. And dare I bring back up the Saints game. Saints came in 7.5-point favorites, and that quarterback was playing the greatest quarterback we'd ever seen any quarterback play up to that point, and it wound up 13-10, my defense.
If you don't mind me asking, who went on the road last week and beat the hottest team playing currently, the Texans?
Andrew Luck did.
Okay.
So I give you that. And I look at what Andrew Luck has been doing, and he has been simply the hottest quarterback in pro football over the last 7 games. What's that?
Second.
Well, I mean, but over the last 7, I'm going to have to give him the nod. To who? To Drew Brees?
My homeboy.
Well, Drew Brees was having the greatest QBR season. Well, he was.
Skip, it's more the quarterback in the QBR.
Huh?
It's more the quarterback in the QBR.
I'm just telling you stats. He was having the all-time QBR season until he rode into Dallas. The Saints came marching in.
Well, you can't have an all-time great season if you lose to Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's been benched twice in one season.
All right. Well, but he made up for that. So here we are, and yet we have one aberration game for Andrew Luck because this is the one I can't explain, and this is the one that should stick in Las Vegas's craw because just 2 weeks ago at Jacksonville, 6-0, Andrew Luck got shut out, and he had one bad QBR the whole year. He had a 27, scale of 0 to 100 at Jacksonville, and they lost 6-0. Really?
So what should have
and you're making them favorites over the team that is blowing out the NFC East?
You
really?
lost to the Titans by 17.
Okay. Well.
Was that an aberration?
No, that was
lost to Washington.
Hitting bottom.
You lost to Washington.
Yeah. Because of a bogus call at the end of the game. It was a bogus call.
Skip, you lost 5 games, so were all the calls bogus? You got 5 losses.
That was a bogus call. So let me ask you some questions here. Who leads the league in rushing now? What running back?
Elliott.
Ezekiel Elliott. Would you believe that? So my team has the leading rusher in pro football.
Okay.
Who has been the hottest receiver in football over the last 6 games?
Skip, you already know the answer.
No, you have the researcher. You got the Heisman Trophy winner,
so you
Steve
don't know.
Owens. I don't know.
Yeah, you do know.
Last
Amari
6 games.
Cooper.
Oh, Amari Cooper. I did not know that. You have enlightened me. 642 yards receiving over the last 6 games?
Yes.
Is he not the hottest receiver
He's the hottest
in football? And I hate to bring this up, but who barely has the number 2 scoring defense in all of pro football? Just barely, because the Ravens are barely clinging to that lead right now. It's 18.5 to 18.9 points allowed per game. Who is that? It's the Dallas Cowboy defense. And who leads the whole NFL in rushing yards allowed per carry? 3.6 per carry is the Dallas Cowboy defense. So it's come alive. And I have another question for you. What was Drew Brees and company on third down against the Dallas Cowboy defense? Help me out. I'm asking Las Vegas this question. Just what was Drew Brees? He was riding as high as you could ever ride.
Well, Las Vegas is not here to
That
answer.
was the number 1 scoring defense in football, 37 points a game. And that night against my defense, it went 3 for 11 on third down, did the New Orleans Saints. Then Carson Wentz came rolling in, walking to him. Yes, he was. Walk it to him, Wentz. The best quarterback in the NFC East, said somebody across the table from me. He is still, says the guy across from me.
Yes.
What did he go on third down against my defense? He went 1 for 9. So Drew Brees went 3 for 11. Carson Wentz went 1 for 9. And
so that's 4 for 20.
That's very interesting to me. And yet Las Vegas says my team is a 3-point underdog. And I'm thinking, how could that really be?
And if you don't mind me asking, Mr. Researcher, since you got all of that, where was these games played that the Cowboys put on this exemplary performance?
They were both at home.
Okay, so what?
My team, I don't always trust my team. I like my team on the road better than I like
them on the road. Well, good. You're going to see them on the road and watch Andrew Luck throw 4 tubs on them.
So they went to Philly and they won. They went to Atlanta and they won.
Skip, stop with Atlanta. You know Atlanta's terrible.
I don't know. That's interesting.
So is Atlanta terrible, yes or no?
They've become terrible, but my Cowboys leave everybody for dead is what happens. If you look back, where was the beginning of the end for Jacksonville? Dallas. Beginning of the end for Philadelphia? Dallas. Beginning of the end for Atlanta? Dallas.
New Orleans?
New Orleans. You told me yesterday, you said New Orleans hasn't looked the same since Dallas.
So in other words,
right?
Anybody that plays Dallas, that's murderer's row.
Well, they just get psychologically devastated by what hits them right between the eyes. They get hit by that defense.
You know what, Skip? You need to stop.
I'm just saying. I look at what's happening here, and the facts are the facts. They're right before your very eyes, but you keep saying, yeah, but Dak Prescott.
If I didn't know better, I swear I was talking to Jerry Jones right now. Because you be hyping him up just like he be hyping him up. This is a very good team, right? We some different cats. We're from different cats now.
Okay, different cats.
Yeah, that's what Jerry said.
They're different cats. They are different cats. So I will be the first to admit these are the cardiac Cowboys. They are the cardiac Cowboys. No team that I have ever root for is more agonizing to root for than this team.
Okay.
But the cardiac Cowboys have won 5 straight games. Yes. Maybe by hook or crook. I don't know how. And their turnover ratio, which is always telling, you could always say, the best teams, they always have big plus and, they've taken it away a lot more than they've given it away. Dallas is 0, which is no good. It's like dead even, but they're 8-5. Why are they 0? Because the quarterback keeps spitting it up all over the carpet. Well, he does. I told you that they.
So who will have the best quarterback on Sunday?
Well, I'll give you Andrew Luck as far as yards, passing.
No, as far as everything. Stop it. Why do you keep doing that? Look, Skip, I understand you're a Cowboys fan, but you and I both know Dak Prescott is not the equivalent of Andrew Luck.
One guy makes plays, the other guy not so much.
So Andrew Luck has not gone to an AFC Championship game? Has he not gone to the divisional?
And what did they do? They tried to blow the whistle on New England in that AFC Championship game at halftime. And what happened to him in the second half?
He didn't blow the whistle. He can't control what someone else does.
It was his management.
So what they got to do with him?
Well, he got blown off the field in the second half of that game at New England, right?
Okay, where your guy been?
And that's the last we heard of Andrew Luck.
My
guy just keeps winning games in the fourth quarter. My guy in the fourth quarter and overtime Sunday, as you quickly pointed out yesterday, was 17 of 20 for 243, 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. That's after he threw 2 ugly interceptions.
And
fumbled and missed Amari with 58 seconds left on the game clincher, missed him by 5 yards. He was 10 yards open. So I give you all that. But when it's time, Warrior turns back into Warrior.
If you look at the Colts offense, T.Y. Hilton has been unbelievable.
Okay.
Eric Ebron, he's finally, he got away from Matthew Stafford, and all of a sudden you can understand why the Lions took him with the 10th pick in the draft.
Okay. All right. So speaking of Eric Ebron, he is now tied for the NFL lead in touchdown catches with 12, with Devontae and Antonio Brown.
Yep.
12 touchdown catches, and he got cut by Detroit.
Cut.
Okay? So he is by far the favorite target, especially in money time, for Andrew Luck. So what did I tell you last week about Zach Ertz? He murdered my Cowboys at Philadelphia. They won in spite of all of his catches. He caught 14 balls. You can relate to that.
Yep.
That's more than you ever caught, right?
It is.
Yep. 14 catches for 145 yards did Zach Ertz have against Dallas at Philadelphia. But this time they said, no, sorry. Carson, you can no longer have Zach Ertz. He caught 5 balls for a grand total of 38 yards on Sunday. And who often took him? My best quarterback.
But guess what? You're going to put Byron Jones. So who's going to take T.Y. if you put Byron Jones on Eric Ebron?
Well, maybe we put the Wolf Hunter on him. Maybe we put the tackling Dutchman on him. That's
that's what you want? You want a linebacker to try and cover Ebron?
Yeah.
Well, he'll have Zach Ertz type number.
Okay. I don't think
14
he
for
will.
140.
I don't think he will. I think he will be taken away.
You saw what Goddard did to him.
Yeah. Well,
Did Goddard?
He got loose one time. I don't know.
And they called it back. That was a bogus call. Say it was a bogus call.
Yeah, that was a bogus call,
Okay.
and then they made up for it with another bogus call on Randy Gregory a play later.
Skip, you know good and well you can't tackle the quarterback. That's the Tom Brady rule. You can't tackle the quarterback in the pocket around his legs.
Around his legs?
Yeah.
He just reached around and grabbed
You
his
can't.
foot.
You can't be. No,
That's a makeup call.
No,
you
it's
know
not.
it, and I know it.
And he went helmet to helmet with Goddard too. 25. Yeah, you did. But anyway, don't worry
So
about
are
that.
you saying it was a robbery? No, you're not.
Andrew Luck will take care of you on Sunday. Put you out your misery. Bring you back down to earth because you're feeling too good.
There's
You're
no
living too
misery.
good.
We're up 2 games.
Exactly.
How can you put me out of my misery?
No, you don't.
That would put us up 1 game,
No.
maybe. Although, wait a second. Philly still has to go to the Rams. You don't think the Rams will be spoiling to get even with somebody this Sunday in the Hollywood weather here?
Your life's too good right now.
Yeah.
Everything's going really well for you right now, Skip Bayless. You're up about 11 cases, and if things go according to plan
It's
for
not
you,
about 11 cases. I'm up 11 cases.
Everything's coming up.
you're living real good, Skip. The Cowboys are playing well.
Yep.
You got another 6 cases to do on the line with the Eagles lose the division, Cowboy win the division. So you're feeling really good about yourself.
It looks like I'm about to be up 17 cases.
What happens
Is that
with the
possible?
Do you drink that?
Well, I'll never get it.
Oh, no, I'm going to give it to you.
I will never
No,
get
I'm gonna
it. Because somebody doesn't pay.
No.
Somebody got way down in our first year of existence here on Undisputed, and somebody on my birthday paid off.
I'm gonna pay it
and
off.
then we cleared the slate, and we started over, and it's looking like it's
You know
about to
what?
be 17.
I'm gonna give you all your little cases, and I'm gonna take them back one by one.
Okay.
That's what's gonna hurt you. But
Okay.
I'm gonna start.
That's a lot of ones. That's a lot of days.
No. I'm gonna start this week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start this week with Andrew Luck. I'm gonna get 2 of them back on Sunday.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Andrew Luck's gonna get you.
Was that a deal? I shouldn't give you 2 at once.
No, Skip, don't do
They're
that.
too hard to come by.
No, not too hard to come back. You up 11.
So are you going to give me 3 right now?
No.
Why not?
No,
Vegas says it's 3.
No, like you told me. Your team, teams are never, we lead teams in shambles. They're never the same. Look at the Eagles. Look at Jacksonville. Look at New Orleans. So, no, I'm not giving you any points.
So you got T.Y. Hilton, you got Ebron.
Oh, let me ask you a
got
question.
Marlon Mack. He's been running wild.
Well, let me ask you.
He's the next Ezekiel
How
Elliott.
about this here? You just asked me who has the hottest receiver in football right now. You didn't mention T.Y. Hilton. You said Amari Cooper.
You did.
He has 6 games, 642 yards. How many touchdowns did he have, Skip? 6.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you feeling good? You riding?
Look at this. Andrew Luck has 34 touchdown passes. Guess how many Dak has? 17. So he has doubled Dak already in touchdown passes. 34 to 17 through 13 games.
Yeah.
Well, you should. That's a pretty. You got to give me 3 for that right there. Just right there.
No. But you just told me your quarterback is playing.
Yeah.
You just told me about the 4th quarter in overtime.
It was
He was
beautiful.
17 to 20, 243,
Yep.
2 touchdowns. Andrew Luck ain't had a performance like that this year. So I need 3.
You do not need 3.
Yeah.
I'll take 3 right now. Do you
Dude,
wanna
I ain't
do
gonna
it?
be able to do that.
Going once?
Nope.
Going twice?
No, you're gonna give me
Why
2.
not?
2 cases.
You just said the spread was correct. Did he not open the show by saying the spread was correct?
You did. You supported that.
But we going head up.
I think the Mountain Dew is the missing ingredient from the Miami Miracle. Remember we were trying to talk about that yesterday, the drink that they're concocting?
No, you can't put alcohol in Diet Dew.
I think
it just doesn't go
it's
together.
Jaeger
It
and Diet
clashes.
Dew. That's the Miami Miracle.
That's okay. I'm gonna bring you a little Dew because I don't want to hear no excuses when you start taking cases from your collection and adding it back to my side. Because when it's all said and done, I'm like Vegas, Skip. You might win a few, but guess what? The house always
Win
comes
a
back.
few?
Yep.
How can a Hall of Famer be 17 cases down to me, little old me?
That's a lot of
What do I
pending,
know?
too.
Because I let you swindle me.
Swindle?
Yes, because there are a lot of times I've given you points when I shouldn't have.
That is not true.
That's a lot of pending, due.
But that's okay. We'll get it back.
All right.
You know what? I'll do it right now. I'll do it straight up for one case.
Two.
One case.
I should have bet you Friday night because I told you the Spurs were going to beat the Lakers.
Okay? And guess what? The Lakers were up 15 going to the fourth quarter, and they just said, on to Memphis. Remember, they had back-to-back at Memphis, and they took their foot off the gas, and they gave up 44 points in the fourth quarter to the dreadful San Antonio Spurs. That's embarrassing.
Well, I guess
44?
I guess they tuned Luke out because that's what you told them they did to Pop when they gave up 43 in the fourth quarter on Wednesday night to Braun.
Well, they did. So I guess. So
But no, two cases. Head up right now.
One, I'll take
Ready,
one right
Skip,
now.
you got it.
Here, I got it. One.
No.
You won't even do one case. You can get it right back.
I
It's
want
simple.
two. I want two.
One, and then
Skip,
like,
you
wait.
up 11.
I'm trying to
Let's
save
meet in
you
the
from
center. Let's like do
yourself.
I don't
one
want
case and then like a 16
Skip,
ounce.
you about to be up 7. First of all, you know good and well the Cowboys are not going to lose out and the Eagles win out. So
I don't
you're about
know
to be
that.
up 17.
I don't
You
know.
do know that.
It's not over
Let's shake
till
on
it's
it.
over.
You just told me they're gonna beat Tampa. Oh, Tampa, we got that one.
It could come down to having to go beat the Giants at the Giants. That would be tough, but would it not be classic showdown?
Do we have a deal
So,
made?
y'all gonna lose to Tampa?
I don't know, but I'll take a case right now, straight up.
Oh,
They'll win
Tampa.
it. No, at Indy.
No. We'll talk more about it because I want two.
We got time.
Skip, you got the hottest receiver.
I
Hold
don't
on.
want to just give it back.
We're playing hardball,
Hold on.
obviously.
You just told me you got the hottest receiver.
I'm taking
you
a
got the
dumb
hottest
bet.
defense.
I'm just betting with my heart over here, so why would I bet two cases with my heart?
You got the
that
number-
would be stupid.
You got the-
I don't do stupid bets,
You got
but
the
I
number
do
two
gutsy bets.
You got the number 2 defense.
I do courage of conviction bets.
You just told me.
I like my team.
You just told me you had the number 2 defense.
We do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you got the best
We
receiver
got a
in
lot
the
of
game
stuff
right now.
going. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
So
all
I'll
I
do
like.
one case
We'll
right
talk.
now.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
We got time.
No guts, no glory.
We got 2 more hours.
I was going to give you one case right back.
No, you
See,
ain't.
that's true friendship. Leave
I
it.
ain't falling for that. I'm fail for it far too many times. I know what you're trying to do, Skip.
I'm not trying to do anything except go to 20.
And we're trying to move on to the next segment. Got to take a break here. Did Dwayne Wade cost the Heat a win against his buddy LeBron last night? We'll discuss that coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
No mercy.
Hey guys, Jenny Taft here. More of the Undisputed podcast is on the way, but first, I wanted to talk to you about one of our sponsors. If you're like me, you know that navigating the stock market can be daunting. Fortunately, there's Robinhood. Robinhood is an app that makes buying and selling stocks, options, cryptos, and more simple and intuitive. With data presented in an easy-to-digest way, Robinhood is a non-intimidating method for stock market newcomers to invest with confidence. And here's the best part. Not only is Robinhood easy to use, it's all commission-free. That's right, no commission fees. Other brokerages can charge you up to $10 for every trade, but Robinhood allows you to trade stocks and keep all of your profits. Even better, Robinhood is giving Undisputed listeners a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help you build your portfolio. Just sign up at undisputed.robinhood.com. That's undisputed.robinhood.com to start investing today. Now, back to the show.
No mercy.
Last night, Staples Center was the site of what will likely be the final meeting between great friends LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. The game came down to the wire with LeBron giving the Lakers a lead with a three-pointer late in the fourth quarter, but the game ended like it should with LeBron defending Wade, who missed the game-tying three, and the Lakers got the W. Take a listen to the former teammates after the game.
It's bittersweet, man. Every possession, you was just like the next one is getting closer and closer to the last one. So a lot of emotions going on right now for me, just knowing I'm losing a brother in this game that I've had so many wars with.
You know, whether we was teammates, whether we was opponents, we brought the best out of each other. And I'm just thankful that I had the opportunity to be able to be drafted at the same time as this guy. And the friendship that we have, you guys know that's beyond basketball. But I'm gonna miss this, you know? Like, I'm gonna miss out of this, man.
Heartfelt. Pretty nice to see. Now, Shannon, what was your takeaway from the end of the game?
It was fitting, Skip, that it come down to this. They played each other 31 times. 30 times. This was the 31st meeting. They were tied 15-15. And it would come down on the last two possessions. D-Wade had to guard LeBron. LeBron had to guard D-Wade. LeBron leads the NBA in fourth quarter scoring. And again, Skip, he's magnificent, wasn't he? 11 in the fourth. D-Wade, not to be outdone, had 7 in the fourth. D-Wade did not play particularly well in the first half, but he got it going in the second half, 8 in the third quarter, 7 in the fourth quarter, 15 total points. And he was magnificent. And this is what you want to see. See, a lot of people, the old guard, believe that you can't be friends and competitors because you'll let friendship interfere with what's going to transpire on the court. Michael Jordan said, I didn't have any friends. Magic and Bird, for the longest time, they didn't talk, they didn't do anything together. LeBron's like, Bull Jive. We gonna be homeboys. We have a glass of wine or vino. LeBron, that good stuff too. Oh yeah, Skip, you see it the other night? That good old red one, not that stuff that you and Ernestine be drinking.
We drink none of that stuff.
Ernestine don't drink wine either.
No, sorry. No. Propel.
You know what? You boring.
That's true.
You boring.
I'll buy that.
But LeBron said, Bull Jive, I believe you can have wine. I believe you can go on vacation together, but once we step on the court, I'm going to set friendship aside, and I'm going to go out there, and I'm going to try to win this ball game. And they've done a great job of that. You know, over the years, Skip, we saw that he'd go back to Miami, and LeBron was sitting on the desk at halftime, and he and D-Wade was chumming it up, and it didn't give a very good look. Now, I never got the thought, all right, that when they were on the court, that LeBron tried to take it easy on D-Wade or D-Wade tried to take it easy on LeBron. I thought they were competing at the highest levels. But I was glad the game came down like this. I just wish both guys would have hit their shots. I really do. I wanted LeBron to hit that ball away. I wanted D-Wade to hit his step back ball away, a three-point shot. But anyway, it came up short. But Skip, did you see LeBron last night in the fourth quarter? Them threes? Now, you know, Queen Savannah, she couldn't come because the kids get some school night.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Freddie Mercury. I didn't know what you were
talking about. I ain't talking about no Freddie Mercury.
Okay.
You know I'm talking about
I don't know.
Old Queen Savannah.
See the movie? It was great.
Yeah,
Bohemian Rhapsody. It was really good.
Skip,
Go ahead.
Savannah could not come to the game because it was a school night.
Yeah.
But LeBron would pull up for them threes. He would shoot one from San Diego.
Yeah.
And he heard the kids wanted something from Tijuana.
Yeah.
So Savannah had to bring him his passport. He shot one of them threes from Tijuana. I'm like, what, Ron? When did you turn into Steph Curry? You see that, Skip, every game.
You know what? Just for the sake of the Staples crowd, he says, I'm trying one. I'm going to take one from 30.
And what happened?
It's a crowd pleaser.
What happened?
He's made a few of them.
Hey, he made them all this year, Skip.
Yeah.
He been shooting that three ball real good. And he did something you wanted to see him do, Skip.
What's
you
that?
say late in the ball game, you say you want to see LeBron James drive the basketball. And what did he do, Skip? He got fouled, and what did he do, Skip?
Yeah.
What did he do?
When he got fouled?
Yes.
Which one are we talking about?
I'm talking about the one he made those 2 free throws to put him up by 3.
He didn't drive.
He did.
He did not.
Drove it.
Well, I watched it.
Did you say you said
he did not? He didn't drive that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You said you wanted to see him at the free throw line.
Yeah,
with
I
something
did.
at stake.
Is it my turn?
No, it's not your turn yet.
Okay.
And look at this.
There you go. There you go.
Ow!
But that wasn't the one that he got fouled.
Ow!
Sorry.
Wow.
That's another
Wow.
one.
And then he drove the lane and hammered, tomahawk, dunked it.
Yeah.
LeBron had it going last night. Kuzma had it going also. But I was glad it came down to this, Skip.
Yep. So it is my turn now. And it was great theater last night.
Yes.
And I will give you, it was warm, it was fuzzy, it was fairy tale. And LeBron was very good. I'm not going to give him great, but I'm going to give him very good down the stretch. Because he did make one big three, and that was a bomb three with 4 minutes left, and that did put them up 3.
And he got fouled, too.
It was a tie game. I don't know if he got fouled. I think actually his hand got hit, which made it accidentally go in.
Stop it. You know what? See, I knew you was going to do
I
that.
was watching it. I don't know. I was thinking, well, what is it? Anyway, so then he comes down the next time, and he misses another bomb three where I'm saying, LeBron, now you're just full of yourself. You can't do, you're better than that. Because this game is still hanging in the balance. So he does get fouled with 1:58 left, and he goes to the free throw line, and he made the first one, and that put them up 3, and he could have put them up 4 with 1:58, which would have felt like a little more insurmountable, and he LeBricked the second one. And at that point, he was 2 for 6 from the free throw line, and may I point out that LeBron for the year has now plummeted to 69.9%. Somebody across from me has bet me another case of Diet Dew that LeBron's going to shoot 80+% for this year. And I just think that's such a...
I give you a 6-pack right now to let me out the bed.
It's a dramatic deficit.
I
No,
give you
I'm not letting you out of that.
A 6-pack, Skip.
So he was 2 for 6 at this point, but we're about to get to the good stuff because then it comes down to Dwayne and LeBron, and mostly the other guys just got out of the way and said, you guys settle this.
Yep.
You finish it between yourself. And Dwayne... he drives all the way down the baseline and takes a fall-away baseline jumper that was an all-time bad shot, but one that he has made before. It's over Tyson Chandler, and I thought, Dwayne, what do you do? You can get a better shot than that. And to your point, you wish it had gone in, but it didn't go in. But it was a high degree of difficulty. And then LeBron comes down the other end with 34 seconds left and shoots a step-back jump shot. It wasn't quite a 3, but it was a 2, and it was a bad idea. That's when he should have driven the basketball, but he did not. So then we come back to the other end with 22 seconds left, and Dwayne Wade misses a 3 pretty badly, and the ball goes to LeBron over on the side of the court, and Justice Winslow just runs right to LeBron and fouls him intentionally. A, to stop the break, and B, because late game free throws, you want LeBron at the free throw line because he's
You sure about that?
Yep, he's got a real problem at the late game free throw line. So at this point, he goes to the line and starts getting trash talked by Dwayne Wade. There's one guy who cannot get away with trash talking LeBron, and it is Dwayne, because that's his big brother. That's his quote unquote best friend. We're going to talk about that in just a moment here. And LeBron isn't going to buy that trash talk because he knows that their hearts are connected. So it's not a foe. It's not an enemy. It is not an enemy, and so LeBron is not fazed by that. In fact, I think he's actually empowered by that kind of trash talk because he knows Dwayne is just doing it for theater. It's just for the cameras. It's not real. It's not. There's nothing mean or nasty about the trash talk. He's not trying to get deep in his psyche and say, you're going to choke these.
Well, I mean, when you trash talk, you ain't trying to be mean.
So, to LeBron's credit, he is 2 for 6 from the free throw line at this point. They're up 1, so these aren't crucial free throws,
They are.
but they're important free throws. I'll give you important, but not crucial because you are up a point. You don't have to make
Well,
these
you remember
free
what
throws.
happened last time against San Antonio?
Okay, well,
he missed both of them,
Yep.
and they hit the game-tying shot and lost it, and they lost in overtime.
Patty Mills, way to go, Patty. So, LeBron, to his credit, steps up, and he didn't just make both of them, he swished both of them. Way to go, LeBron. That was big time. So that put them up 3, and Dwayne comes down, and I don't know what Dwayne was doing, but he just decided, I got to shoot a 3. I thought they could have gone for a quick 2, but he tried to get off a 3 against LeBron, and LeBron's smarter than that. Highest IQ in basketball, maybe in basketball history. And again, you've got 6 feet 9 inches on 6 feet 4 inches, and LeBron just kept his feet because Dwayne has been known to pump fake people off their feet and maybe make those
And lean
3
into
free
it,
throws,
you know.
and get it. But LeBron didn't buy, and Dwayne wound up with a prayer. And a brick. And that was the end of that game. So I congratulate LeBron. You took advantage of the poor old man. I give you
It wasn't no poor old man. And this game shouldn't have been that close anyway.
Okay, so I give you all that. And then it was really lovey-dovey at the end of the game, and it was nice to see because there is obviously deep history between the two of them. But I am here to ask you a very important question that transcends what happened last night.
Okay.
And that question is, can you explain to me why Dwayne continued to be best friends with LeBron after what LeBron did to him in 2014? Because I thought it was a low blow, and I predicted on television the next day that is going to burn that bridge to the ground because LeBron left him out of the loop until the very last second. And Dwayne had already opted out in Miami thinking, oh, we'll both opt back in, LeBron and Dwayne, and finish out together for a little less money or however we have to do it.
That was D. Wade's fault.
Okay.
I mean, you got to make a decision based on your best decision. You can't make a decision on your friends
But
without knowing.
He had no intel from his quote-unquote best friend.
So why would you opt out if you have no intel?
And as Brian Windhorst wrote yesterday on ESPN.com, Dwayne wasn't the first to know about LeBron's decision. He found out later, he was down the line later to know, and it ended up costing him about $10 million because when he decided to opt back in, they were strapped. They had to pay Chris Bosh to keep him from going to Houston, and it cost Dwayne $10 million. That's a lot of money.
It is.
Right?
Yes.
And then if we can finish out the friendship, somehow that didn't burn the bridge to the ground, and then Dwayne had a chance to go to Golden State and win one more ring last year before the year started, right?
Yep.
And instead, he opted to join LeBron and try to finish it out with LeBron in Cleveland. And what happened at the trade deadline? Again, as Brian Windhorst pointed out, LeBron did not stand in the way of management shipping Dwayne out. Now, they did give him a bouquet of roses on the way out because they sent him back to Miami.
Right.
So that was a nice thing to do.
Well, I mean, Skip Harris.
But again, LeBron was good with Dwayne exiting
Well,
stage
he
left.
he knew that D. Wade was unhappy with the amount of minutes. They had made it clear that they wanted to play some of the other guys, and Dwayne's minutes were going to be greatly reduced. And I think he felt that it was one of the reasons D. Wade came was because of LeBron. Because if LeBron wasn't there, D. Wade was never going to Cleveland. He would have gone either back to Miami or he would have gone to Golden State, as you mentioned. But I think LeBron felt, you know what, bro, since you came to join me and I'm the reason you're here, I think I owe it to you. I'm not going to stand in the way and have you sit on the bench. Go back home. Finish out where it all started.
Okay.
Skip, you know, people think it's easy to be friends. And it's really not, especially if one of the friends are on a different level than the other. And Dwayne Wade, and I'm sure Dwayne wanted to be an icon, but he realized very early on he was never going to be LeBron. And
I don't know. He was really good before LeBron got there.
Skip,
He carried that team to a ring.
This is when you know
carried it
he
against
did.
Dallas.
He did. But this is when you know you're not going to be LeBron. Before he picked up an NBA Spalding basketball, LeBron had a $91 million contract.
I'll agree in the big picture,
Yes.
like on and off the court.
Yes.
I'll give you that.
Yes.
I will give you that.
But think about it. Even though LeBron had no titles, when he joined D. Wade in Miami, LeBron was already the biggest star in the NBA.
Okay, but Dwayne took less money the first time around for LeBron to come with Bosh.
Yeah,
right? Of
everybody
the
took
three.
less.
But he took the most less,
Yeah.
right?
And that was one of the things that rubbed, and LeBron, when he mentioned when he went back to Cleveland, he says, I'm never playing for less than max again.
Yep.
He says, why should I take less money to go play for you when you don't give the fans less money when I take less money?
Okay, I got you. So what happened in that first finals in 2011? Dwayne Wade had an all-time great finals.
He would have been the finals MVP
he
had they
been
won.
The MVP, and as Brian Windhorst, who's covered LeBron since like junior high school, wrote, but LeBron James played the worst playoff series of his career, dragging Wade down and perhaps costing the Heat the title. James' 8-point Game 4 stands as maybe the worst night of his career.
Yeah.
So Dwayne had to sacrifice for LeBron.
Right.
LeBron didn't give back in the finals. They lost. And then Dave McMenamin wrote on ESPN.com this morning that LeBron talked about how they went on vacation after this, and the wives went, and everybody tried to really hold LeBron's feet to the fire about who are you? What have you become here this year? Because you're wearing, as LeBron said in the article, you're wearing the black hat. You're being the villain, and it's not who you are.
Right.
You got to be more Magic Johnson. You got to be the good guy.
Right.
And it turned him around. And I still say Dwayne taught LeBron how to win. It was huge. He turned around LeBron's career.
I think he taught LeBron how to be himself.
Maybe.
Because LeBron was trying to be someone else. He was trying to play a role.
Yep.
Okay, you want me to be the villain?
Yep.
Okay, I'll be that. But that's not who he is. Skip, at the end of the day, if you're not an angry, and I always tell Steve Smith and Terrell Owens, two receivers, they were the only guys that I ever saw that could play with that rage, all right there to the edge, but they never went over. Everybody can't play like that, Skip.
I agree.
And LeBron can't play like that.
Okay.
He has to play friendly with his mind free.
So why wasn't the bridge burned between these two? This is my 2 cents from a distance, because Dwayne is at heart a businessman, and he realized post-basketball, he needs the connection with LeBron. He wants to live with Gabrielle here in Hollywood.
Said, will they be in Hollywood together working on
They need
stuff?
to be friends, because for business connections, Dwayne can benefit greatly. Maybe he'll get his $10 million back in connections.
We'll see them producing something together, I think, very soon.
Nah, they were friends before they became teammates.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's an uneasy.
But remember what the old saying is, you don't mix business and pleasure.
I don't know. I think they just did.
That's why you and I can't go in business together.
Yeah, right.
All right, next up, it took a Miami miracle for the Patriots to lose to the Dolphins on Sunday. And now New England heads to Pittsburgh. The Steelers are also coming off a dramatic loss on Sunday in Oakland. Yesterday, Tom Brady said he's confident, though, that the Patriots will bounce back. Take a listen to Tom.
No mercy.
We've had obviously a lot of tough losses over the years. I mean, we lost pretty important games, and I don't know what's the difference between losing by 14 down there, losing by 50, or losing by 1. They all count the same, and mental toughness is mental toughness. And you realize that, a lot of things had to go right for them to win, and they did. Just give them credit. And there was a lot of positives from yesterday's game that we've got to kind of use going forward, that we will use going forward, and our whole season's ahead of us. So let's go make the most of it.
Tom Brady always on the positive side of things. But Shannon, Which team will bounce back on Sunday, in your opinion? Patriots or Steelers?
Patriots.
Okay.
I trust their makeup. I trust their moxie. I trust their mindset. I just do not believe the Steelers will ever be as successful as they can be as long as Ben Roethlisberger is your unquestioned leader. He's too quick to lay blame. He's too quick to point and not accept responsibility. He has too cavalier, oh, yeah, I'm going to throw interceptions. Oh, well, you just got to deal with it. And that rubs me the wrong way, Skip. Mm-hmm. And it's reported that, Mike Tomlin said he could have come back in the game. Well, my question is, okay, you left the game with a rib injury, and you could have come back in sooner. It was almost like I called my shot. Okay, I'm going to go back in now. I want to play hero. Come on. It's always going to be a problem as long as Ben's the quarterback because it's always going to be someone else's fault. They should have called a different play. Antonio Brown should have run a better route. James Washington should have caught the ball with his hands instead of trying to jump up and catch it. And that's a problem. And when your quarterback is quick to lay blame and not as quick to accept responsibility, that's going to be the problem. I've seen the Patriots lose at 2014, Skip, that debacle that they had in Arrowhead, and it was over. The sky was falling. And Coach Belichick just quickly said, he coined the phrase, we're on to Cincinnati. They've lost late in the season before and somehow still managed because they have the right makeup. They have the right mixture of guys between vets and young guys. But that's one thing you can say about him. And, I give him a lot of flack, but he'll accept responsibility. I got to play better. I got to do a better job of getting us in and out of the huddle. I got to do a better job of ball placement. And I'll be better. Coach Belichick says, the last play is on me. I got to do a better job of situational football. Everybody will accept responsibility when it doesn't go right. And there's enough credit to go around when everything does go right. And therein lies the difference between the two teams. Because I think the talent levels, especially offensively, is there. Defensively, to a man, I believe the Steelers have more talent defensively.
I would agree. They do.
But as a team, all that finger pointing and blame, and it told me everything I need to know this summer. When they came out and personally attacked Le'Veon Bell, I already knew right then, I was like, nah, I can't pick y'all to go to the Super Bowl. No, dude, y'all got too much drama going on. And it's playing out for you right now, Skip.
So I agree with your big picture premise that mental toughness, I'm taking Tom Brady every time over Ben Roethlisberger, and I'm taking team over team, New England over Pittsburgh, even though this game, once again, is at Pittsburgh. I just do not trust Bill Belichick's defense this year. It is below average, and I'm being nice when I say that. It has now plummeted to 24th in opponents' third downs allowed. That is horrendously bad. I told you what they allowed at Miami. Brady held the ball for 75 plays to only 45 plays, and the Miami Dolphins, led by Ryan Tannehill for most of the game, averaged 9.1 yards per play. Every time they snapped the ball, they got an average of 9. Obviously got helped by 69 yards to end the game.
Correct.
But it's still, they were already up pretty high before that.
Correct.
So this defense is now 22nd in yards, and you always say, yeah, but what about points? They're 12th in points. And again, that's not Belichickian. That's a recipe for disaster against this offense in Pittsburgh. In the cold, where they're a little better, usually, not that New England doesn't play well in the cold, but again, this is the flying circus is still in effect here. And James Conner, who's been pivotal to them this year without Le'Veon, looks like he might be able to come back and play off his ankle injury. Well, they reported yesterday that it looked like he was on track to come back.
But, Skip, you remember last year.
Okay.
Ben went up and down the field, and what did he do at the end of the game?
Up and down. And would you believe, he like Brady had a good game. He had an 83 QBR. Ben had 93 last year. He did. He went up and down the field.
And when you needed that play, the one play, the same thing we saw against Denver, Skip.
Okay. 3rd and goal from the 7. 5 seconds to go. Whose fault was it? I don't know. Ben's throwing them under the bus on the sideline.
Yeah.
And they wanted him to spike, so he did a fake spike.
Right.
And he threw it into the end zone to nobody.
Right.
Right? He threw it to Eli Rodgers? Really?
Exactly.
And the ball gets tipped up in the air?
If I'm not mistaken, because I think AB had gotten hurt early in the
That is
game,
true.
remember?
Yep. And Eric Rowe made the first and maybe last play of his career. He tipped the ball up in the air, and Duron Harmon intercepted it, and that was basically the game. And I still think they got robbed on the Jesse James play, which was first and goal from the 10, because you didn't think he scored. I thought he scored. They said it was no catch.
Right.
Right.
But that's the thing, Skip. And you look at Ben's numbers, up and down the field he goes. But you look at those turnovers and when they happen, they're back-breaking. He did the same thing in Denver. Skip had the game. I mean, they're about to win the game. And why he was, first of all, even if the lineman did not rush, Roby's going to pick it. Mm-hmm. You keep throwing the ball in the middle of the field down there, Skip. There's so many things that could happen. Nobody should throw a pass in the middle of the field like that on the goal line after what happened in the Super Bowl between Seattle and New England.
I got you.
And they still do it. Okay. Skip, I don't trust Ben. I don't trust him.
I don't either. But I really, really don't trust Belichick's defense against Ben in this game, because you want to talk about do or die.
Right.
Maybe for Mike Tomlin, maybe. I don't know that, but it just seems like it's all teetering, right? But remember what's left for them. Next week, they have to go to New Orleans. Oh, they get the Bengals at home to finish. But, man, this is like do or die. They're 7-5-1. They have a half-game lead in the division over Baltimore. Mm-hmm. Really? So has Tom Brady owned them there? Yeah, he has. He's 11-2 lifetime against Pittsburgh. He's 30 touchdowns to 4 interceptions lifetime against Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. He's 6-2 overall at Pittsburgh. 6-2. Well, that's just horrendously bad. But can he overcome? I thought he would. It looked like he had won the game in spite of his defense at Miami. And again, we come back to what the great Michael Irvin said yesterday. He made a great point about the Dolphins. They're division rivals, and at Miami, they just believe that somehow, some way, they're going to pull out some crazy win over New England.
And that's their Super Bowl.
Okay.
They get bragging rights, Skip.
Okay. And similarly, it seems like New England, even though they're not division rivals, they're AFC rivals. Mm-hmm. It just seems like every time they go to Pittsburgh, they just think, we'll figure this out because he's going to throw it to us at some point.
I think the thing that's really hurt Coach Belichick's defense, Skip, they don't have that one guy.
They don't?
They had it. Chandler Jones was the one guy could get home, and if you look at what he's done since he's been in Arizona, Skip,
I agree.
He's gone to the Pro Bowl. He's been an All-Pro. He's the one guy. But the way he rushes the quarterback, Coach Belichick wants you to take the whole man, play right down the middle, and don't give him any lanes. Well, to rush the passer, Skip, you got to bend the edges. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you got to go inside. Sometimes you got to go outside.
Yep.
So they don't have that one guy. Mm-hmm. And when he brings pressure, they don't really have guys on the back end that's great on one-on-one coverage. Mm-hmm. So you sacrifice your back end to try to get pressure. Okay. Well, I don't know if you necessarily want to bring pressure against Big Ben when you have A.B., Juju, you have Jesse James or McDonald's going one-on-one with guys in the secondary. But you're right, they're 12th. They're right there, but Coach Belichick is normally, when it's all said and done, he's always in that top 10 in scoring defense.
I know, but I did not like what I saw at Miami. I did not. This is a time of year you need to take off, and they threw it in reverse. And
hold on. They'll be just fine. You got Tom Brady. You told me they got us to go. No. He didn't look. Did he? I just want to know. I want you to answer me this. Did he look goatish to you on Sunday?
Yep, he did.
Six possessions. Last 6 possessions, he got 6 points.
I thought he was really good.
Oh, really? That's what you thought?
He threw for a season high. What was it? 3?
A season high.
Yeah.
But you've been hyping him all for the MVP.
Yeah, I have.
So in a season high and an L.
He's doing the Kyler Murray of the NFL because he's having to overcome a bad defense.
Oh, so let me ask you a question.
He had them at 9. They should be, what are they, 9-4? They should be 10-3. 10-3 with that defense?
So let me get this right. So let me get this right. I know a guy that's playing quarterback for a team, Holly. I don't know if you know him. In his 2 losses, his team has given up 98 points.
I don't know who that is.
You know who it is.
I don't. I have no idea who you're talking about.
You remember his defense gave up 43 to Tom Brady, and they gave up another 55 to the Rams. That's what his team. And you want to talk about defense?
So I'm the fool who's hyping Brady for MVP when he threw for 182 in the fourth quarter to outgun the young gun Patrick Mahomes?
With that defense.
Really?
So why didn't he outgun Ryan Tannehill?
Well, did you?
Why did he outgun him?
Guess what? Patrick Mahomes put up 31 in the second half at Foxborough. 31 points.
What did he do in the first half?
Yikes.
So you don't want to give Coach Belichick no defense?
I got to tell you, I am leaning toward picking Pittsburgh in this game. I think they're going to break the hex.
Hold on, but Skip. But in the first half, when Coach Belichick's defense picked him off 3 times, you want to talk about that? We ain't going to talk about that?
Well, he threw it to them.
No, don't do that, Skip. Come on.
no.
Well, he did. Those weren't forced errors. Those were unforced. Seriously.
Let's change this up. Talk about a quarterback coming up in the next segment that is not getting the job done. Should the Vikings regret giving the big bucks to Kirk Cousins? We'll discuss that coming up next.
No mercy.
And speaking of the Seahawks, it wasn't pretty, but they won 21-7 over the Vikings last night. Kirk Cousins struggled mightily. His Vikings didn't score for the first 3 quarters. Then he threw an incomplete pass in the end zone on 4th down in the 4th quarter. And then just a few minutes later, Cousins was stripped of the ball, and the Seahawks ran it back for a touchdown. Vikings are now 6-6-1 after signing Cousins to a huge contract in the offseason. And when I say huge, Shannon, $84 million.
Yeah.
That equals huge. Do you think that Minnesota regrets signing him to this enormous contract?
Well, thus far, he still has 2
Yeah.
years left, Skip. His contract is fully guaranteed. It's $84 million fully guaranteed. 24 this year, 29 next year, 31 the following year. That's what Kirk Cousins is guaranteed. Skip, it's been a disappointment because he hasn't lived up to the contract. When you give a guy this kind of money, Skip, you expect him to beat the teams he's supposed to beat. You can't lose to Buffalo. But you also got to outgun some of these teams. You got to beat Seattle. You got to beat some of these other teams. Because if they're going to give you $84 million fully guaranteed, what are we giving it to you for? What has transpired and what we see happen a lot of times, Skip, when you pay a quarterback this kind of money, it's hard to see him turn around and hand the ball off 30, 35 times a game. Because last year, they had the second most rush attempts. This year, they have the second fewest. But you see the difference. Last year, they had Case Keenum, basically on a very friendly quarterback contract. This year, they pay $28 million per year.
Yep.
So how do you justify paying a guy that kind of money, and all the while you ask him to turn around and hand the ball off, basically be a game manager?
Yep.
See, the thing is that when we look at it, and I fell into this trap until I went back and studied the numbers. Are the Vikings defense historically good on 3rd down as they were last year? But they're still but they're still number 1 on 3rd down. They're 5th in total D, 11th in scoring D.
Yep.
What's happening, Skip, is that I didn't know this. Kirk Cousins is 4-24 in his career against teams that have finished 500 or better. Skip, that's not good enough. He's 0-5 against teams with a winning record this year. So to make a long story short, Skip, what the hell are they paying him $28 million for a year? Because he has not lived up to it. So they are very, very disappointed. Guess what, though? They can't get out from under this contract because they know, they can get out of it next year without a lot of money. No, they can't because they fully guaranteed it. And that $29 million that they're going to pay next year, Skip, that's hard cap money. Again, ain't no proration. And then the following year, that's $31 million. So to say Kirk Cousins has been a disappointment would be an understatement. The understatement of understatements. He's been a huge disappointment. I'm surprised, Skip, because I picked Minnesota to win this division, given their defense. And there's no reason Kirk Cousins should be this bad. He has a guy that leads the league in receptions, and Adam Thielen. He has another guy that's going to end up with over 100 catches in Stephon Diggs. He has a quality tight end.
Yep.
And Kyle Rudolph. Dalvin Cook was a first-round draft pick. Latavius Murray can run the football.
Yep.
So for him to be as bad as he's playing is inexcusable. It's been a huge disappointment, and I'm sure the Vikings are disappointed.
So did I just hear the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe admit that he was wrong?
I was wrong.
About first Cousins? Or is he now third Cousins?
Third. He might be
8th
fifth.
Cousins?
5th.
10th Cousins?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We ain't king.
Twice removed at this point.
So
I should have listened to you.
I should.
It's one of the times in my life I should have listened to you, Skip Bayless. You tried to tell me.
All you really needed to know about this guy is the Redskins. The Washington Redskins would never commit. They'd do maybes. Maybe. We'll try one more year. We'll try. Nope. And he left Washington a sub-500 quarterback. And as I kept telling you, I loved, as a Cowboy fan, playing against Kirk Cousins because he would always throw it to you when you most needed it. And he wound up 1-6 against the Dallas Cowboys. And he wound up 0-4 against Dak Prescott. And those numbers aren't good enough to merit $84 guaranteed million. And I know Minnesota was desperate, but really that desperate? Because I got to tell you, Case Keenum, he will make plays.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins just makes money. And he's made a lot of money.
Oh,
he made a lot of money.
He printed it,
Yep.
Skip.
He printed it in Washington, and he is printing money now. But I even look at last night, the crucial turning point play. Once again, it's 4th and goal. And what do I always tell you about Kirk Cousins? I never like his body language. He's an underconfident overachiever at quarterback. He can put up he'll make some good throws during the game. You say, wow, that looks pretty good. Then it comes down to money on the table time, and you got to make a read and a throw that Case Keenum kept making for this team last year, and he just locked on to Rudolph, who was covered. He was just flat out covered, and he tried to force the ball.
Thielen and slot on the other side.
Thielen was
because his guy slipped.
Look at Thielen. Did you see him come open?
Yeah.
I mean, he came wide open. And by the way, does anybody have a slicker duo of wideouts than these two?
Nope.
Diggs and Thielen? I love both of them because they can flat out get open and make you miss after they get open.
Right.
And Thielen went to the sideline and tried to give Kirk a mouthful right in his face, and Kirk just turned away from him on the sideline. Didn't want to hear it. I can't blame him for that. But Thielen was furious, and he deserved to be furious about
because
it.
Kirk Cousins had already made up his mind where he was going with the football.
He was just going to go to the big tight end.
He left the huddle, says, I'm throwing this ball to Kyle Rudolph. Skip, you know what it is? It's that situation. Kirk Cousins is the girlfriend that you like, but you never give her a key to the house.
That is correct.
Hey, man, you come. Hey, I'll leave the door unlocked for you, or I'll be home in a few minutes. But you ain't getting no key.
No commitment.
And that's what Washington said. You know what, Kirk? We like you. We dating. You ain't getting no key.
Nope.
But Minnesota, they hard headed. They're like, I wonder why Washington didn't give him no key. He good girl, cook, go do some cleaning.
Yep.
You should have left well enough alone, Minnesota. And now you starting to see, you keep saying he's a underconfident overachiever. Now he's just underconfident and he's underachieving. So now what good is he? At least if he was overachieving, we can see what he's actually doing. Skip it. You think about, they were in the NFC Championship game last year. They're going to miss the playoffs. I believe they're going to miss the playoffs.
I do too.
With a $28 million quarterback that you can't get rid of.
And a defense that has underachieved some, but it's still really good. It was really good most of the night last night.
Yes!
Right?
What
did Russell Wilson end up with, like 70 yards
70
passing?
yards.
70 yards?
Now
You won a game with 70 yards passing in this day and age?
They couldn't get off the field because Russell was running the football. He was running around, and they reversing field. I mean, they give up, 42? Think about it, Skip. Who runs the ball 42 times today? What is this, Oklahoma, Nebraska in the 70s and the 80s?
Sounds like it.
42 attempts for 214.
It worked.
Skip, their defense is plenty good enough. If you lead the league, because guess what it's telling me? If you lead the league in third down, getting off the field, you're putting your offense back on the field.
Yep.
You're 5th in total D. You're 11th in points. It's not like you're giving up a total points, but your quarterback, your offense if you got Thielen and Diggs, Skip, how can you not be better than this?
I don't know. That's a great question. And throw Rudolph as you did on top of that.
It's hard for me to believe that there's two better receivers than Thielen and Diggs.
So remember, the classic Kirk Cousins game was played on Thanksgiving of 2016, our first year here on Undisputed.
Yep.
And we went back and forth about this because that was all-time Kirk Cousins. He went 41 of 53 against the Cowboys at Jerry World. 41 of 53 for 449 yards up and down the field. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, but he went into the red zone with his offense 5 times, and they cashed twice. Dak Prescott Dak only went 17 of 24 for 195, but every time Dak got his offense in the red zone, cash. 4 for 4 in the red zone, and it came down to intangibles. Arm talent, I'll give you Kirk Cousins over Dak Prescott. He's just got a better arm. He's a better thrower of the football. He has better mechanics. He has better footwork. He has all those good things that the Mike Shanahans who drafted him like, because there's a lot to like. Right. I liked him at Michigan State. But intangibles, money time. Can you make that throw that wins that game? Can you cash it in?
Clutch.
He's not been that guy. Whether it's clutch or just making a play. Sometimes, clutch to me is like last second kind of play. But when you get in the red zone, you just got to make a play. If you make 4 of those plays, you win the game. And he routinely never makes those plays.
Sometimes, Skip, it might be a situation where expectations. If you notice when they're behind by 14, 17 points, Kirk Cousins is pinpoint accurate.
No, he
and when he backed up RG3, Skip, He come in, because there's no expectations, I'm going back to the bench. But the moment you put the pressure, okay,
that's true.
he's our guy. There's no reason, if you got Thielen and Rudolph and Diggs, that you're just this bad. It's unacceptable. And $28 million,
Man.
Deion Prime says, we only talk about a guy's money when his game jump funny. Well, his game is jump real funny.
Yeah.
For 28, Skip, think about that. Unprecedented.
And you are locked in, man.
Yeah.
You're locked in
You
for
ain't getting
3 years. No.
Ain't nobody's taking that contract. Nobody's taking that.
No. Once upon a time in this league, before this, you could get out from under these
Yes.
things,
It's kind of like the Joe Flacco skip.
Yeah.
Jay can get out from under. Yeah, it's going to be some dead money, but you won't have to pay any more money.
You don't have to pay any
You
more.
got $29 million next year, and you got $31 in 2020. So you got $60 million.
Yep.
So what you going to do about that? And you got him. Thielen and Diggs. I mean, they just
Bad deal.
What do I always say? He'll always be Kirk Cousins to me. Kurt, not Kirk.
That's a shame.
Kurt.
Hey, what's the most expensive purchase you guys have made that you regret?
Too many to count.
Skip?
Never.
Never. Oh, he's
I don't
always
do that.
calculated.
No.
I just bought a French.
Yeah, I told you boring.
No, I told you, but I don't make stupid purchases. I just don't.
I mean, you do. I mean, you young, Skip, you do dumb things.
Yeah, I know.
I went and bought a Ferrari.
Did you?
Yeah. That was double the salary I was making.
Really?
Yeah.
And you wrecked it.
No, I didn't wreck it. And I was living at my granny's house.
Yeah. Okay. Where is it
she
now?
driving it?
Who knows?
No, I sold it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Grandma's driving it. All right. Is it time to jump on the Lakers bandwagon? That's coming up straight ahead. Chris Broussard. Don't go anywhere.
No mercy.
Last night was likely the final meeting between great friends LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. The game came down to the wire with LeBron giving the Lakers a lead with a three-pointer late in the fourth quarter. And the game ended like it should with LeBron defending Wade, who missed the game-tying three, and the Lakers got the W. Take a listen to the former teammates after the game.
It's bittersweet, man. Every possession, you was just like the next one is getting closer and closer to the last one. So a lot of emotions going on right now for me, just knowing I'm losing a brother in this game that I've had so many wars with.
Whether we was teammates, or whether we was opponents, we brought the best out of each other. And I'm just thankful that I had the opportunity to be able to be drafted at the same time as this guy. And the friendship that we have, you guys know that's beyond basketball. But I'm gonna miss this, I'm gonna miss out of this, man.
And for more, we're now joined by FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Chris, how are you?
I'm great.
That's how I feel when I go on vacation, Skip.
Yeah.
I missed it out of Skip. I missed it out of Skip.
Just a bleep out of it?
What word are you going to put in there?
Chris, what was your takeaway from last night's game?
Well, remember last week I was on here, and I said when LeBron plays against
You
a
did.
friend.
I thought of you last night about that. It was the perfect scenario.
Right, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wade has one of his better games, 15 points all in the second half, 10 assists. LeBron has 28, almost a triple-double, and the Lakers win. They guard each other at the end of the game. So both guys, could go away feeling good. So I think for LeBron, it was perfect. He was huge down the stretch. It reminded me kind of San Antonio. Remember earlier in the year, whether he was purposely backing off and trying to see what his teammates could do, or he just failed to close, whatever the case, the last two wins, San Antonio and this one, he is closed. He accounted for he scored 11 points in the last 6 minutes. So 11 of their last 18 he scored, and then he assisted on 2 more. So he accounted for 16 of their 18 points down the stretch to take over that game. I think maybe the biggest thing for him, the threes, we know he gets streaky and he can hit them from half court,
Ain't
basically.
no streak, nah.
But the free throws, making the last 2 free throws with 22 seconds left, 3 of his last 4, I'm not saying this is going to cure what ails him at the free throw line. But I think it's a matter of confidence, and I think it's a matter of him going up there and not thinking and just going up there and shooting. Like, I really think that's why he does that rock. I was wondering, we know he switches his form.
Yeah.
But that little rock, and then I don't get that, but I think it's so you feel like you're in rhythm,
right.
like you're getting a jumper almost, and you're not thinking. So I think hitting those.
May I point out, he was 4 of 8 last
No,
night.
and he missed the 2. Right, he missed the 2 early in the 4th.
And he has now plummeted to 69.9% for the year.
It's
which
bad.
Puts his bet in
no,
jeopardy,
it's. I want that action.
I know.
Well, I put a 6-pack up and Skip's gonna let me buy it for a 6-pack today.
But I mean, looking at it optimistically, maybe those 2 late free throws will help him. Here's one thing I definitely want to point out about the Lakers, and let me say this first. He's not going to be as good as Scottie Pippen, okay? Kyle Kuzma. They're totally different types. Kuzma's more of a scorer. He's not the playmaker or the defender that Pippen was. But watching him, his last 10 games, he's averaged 20 points a game. His last 5 games, he's averaged 25. And when I watch him, I feel like I remember watching Pippen coming up in the years under Jordan. Like, Pippen he wasn't a great player right away. Mm-hmm. Every year you saw development, you saw growth. And I remember watching him feeling like I can see how he's learning from Michael. Mm-hmm. Like just being around Michael. I don't know if Michael took him by the hand and talked to him a lot, but I think he learned from Michael's work ethic.
Right.
And just being around him, he picked things up. That's kind of what I see with Kuzma. I really see him improving, and I think LeBron's presence and learning from LeBron, seeing how hard he works and this and that, I think this kid is really coming into his own. I don't know if maybe they'll get an Anthony Davis or something and Kuz won't be the second guy, but
I think he's a better sidekick than B.I.
I agree. And whether he's a better player or not, he's a better fit with LeBron.
Yeah, because he can play out the ball better and he can spot up and shoot the 3 better than Ingram can. This game, it played out like I thought it should have. I think the last 2 possessions, the possession that Miami had, the possession that the Lakers had, D. Wade and LeBron should have guarded each other. And it should have come down to them make or miss. And the other fourth, LeBron got an opportunity to hit 2 free throws to put them up 3. But I thought they guarded each other, and I thought Bron set the friendship. I thought D. Wade set the friendship aside for this game, knowing it was going to be their last matchup. And I thought they played well. LeBron, 11 points in the 4th quarter. D. Wade, 7 points in the 4th quarter. And LeBron is LeBron. And like you said, I think, we don't want LeBron to have this heavy workload. We don't want to turn into Cleveland. Well, that's what you turn it into. Because down the stretch, he's going to have the ball in his hands, and he's either going to look to score the basketball or he's going to drive and kick. That's what you got. And when you get him, you need to understand what you're getting. Don't try to make him something else. This is LeBron. He has a very, very high IQ. He can score the basketball. So you must pay attention to him. But he's going to look to get to the rim, and when you try and stop him with 2 guys, he's going to kick. Now, whether or not they make it, because we saw it in San Antonio, he was scoring, he was driving, kicking, they made the shots. That's the only difference. So I don't want to hear you say.
Have I spoken?
No, you haven't, but I know you. I don't
said a word.
I don't want to hear you say, well, LeBron, you had it going. Why would you drive and kick? Just take it to the rim. Because
my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn.
So I thought LeBron James was really good down the stretch last night for all the reasons both of you just pointed out. I was a little deflated because Dwayne, in the end, looked like he was nearing the end. He looked like he was on his last legs, and he was trying to just reach down and pull out one last hurrah, because that was the kind of game that he used to just be so all-time great at, where it's just, I'll one-up you, you do that one, I'll do you one better down here, and he couldn't down the stretch match LeBron. And he wound up shooting 6 for 19 last night and 0 for 7 from 3. And you made the point earlier in the show, he couldn't hold up his end of the bargain last night. He did have a remarkable 10 assists. That's just because he can really play basketball, man. Whatever he chooses, whatever facet he chooses to do, whether it's rebound, he's only like 6'4". He can rebound it. If that. I don't even know if he's 6'4" or not, because when LeBron was on him in the end, I was kidding you early in the show, it looked like 6'9" versus 6'4", but it was almost like 6'3" and a half, where he just couldn't get the shot off because LeBron is not going to go for this. He's just not. you know, because Dwayne's classic at getting that
Watch
lean.
the pump.
Watch the pump. He's the classic, maybe even more than James Harden. He sort of invented the pump fake, right? So, again, but LeBron was really good, and he did step up and make those 2 free throws. And I said earlier, again, he didn't just make those free throws. He ripped both of them as clean as you can rip them. I do think it puts him in a comfort zone because Dwayne is not only his quote-unquote best friend, but he's his big brother. He taught him how to win. He taught him how to do this, how to play professional basketball at the highest level, how to handle himself on and off the floor. And so Dwayne was trash talking him, but it's theatrical trash talk. It's for the cameras. It's not for real. You know, it's not go for the throat trash. It's not you're a choker trash talk. It's not like that. It's just it's good natured to it. You know,
friends never get personal in trash talk.
Not like that.
Yeah, I mean, if it's somebody you don't know, I'm getting personal. I'm going.
I don't think LeBron was distracted.
No,
by it.
Right. It might have even made him feel, like you said, relaxed.
It relaxed him. He was having fun with it because it was a fairy tale ending to it, except Dwayne couldn't hold up his end of the fairy tale. So I want to reiterate Chris's point because I wrote it down and I was going to save it for this segment. Kyle Kuzma is becoming LeBron's second star. And I don't think that's too strong to say, but I kept thinking, is it going to be Kawhi? Is it going to be Paul George? Who's going to come? Jimmy Butler? You know, we go back and forth about all these different players. I don't know. Right under your nose here, this kid looks like he's got star quality.
Yeah.
And he loves LeBron to the point that when LeBron does dish it out to him, it empowers him like, LeBron James just passed me the basketball, and that means I got to make this. Because the greatest player, in his view ever, I'm sure he thinks he's better than Jordan because he probably never saw Jordan play. I don't know. But when LeBron kicks it to him, he just goes up in rhythm with conviction. But, you know, in his head, he's got the greenest light there ever was because he's just going to shoot it. But Luke was interesting after the game saying he's finally learning to slow down a little bit and do it a little more, take it as it comes. Don't force it. But when you got it, just shoot it like you mean it.
When was the last time, Skip, you saw a guy, not a Kyrie, not a D. Wade, have more shot attempts than LeBron? Because that's what Kuzma had last night.
And you know what? I don't think LeBron, but very quietly, as the two more aging stars battled it out down the stretch, the kid in his second year had 33. And it looked big time to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Scottie Pippen-esque. I don't know.
They're different players.
They're different.
But I'm just talking about kind of the mentor-mentee relationship.
You know what? I said earlier on the show, maybe 2 weeks ago, this kid could become the closer. LeBron's a facilitator and he can close occasionally, but this is the guy you can go to and trust down the stretch to make big shots.
Well, here's the $1 million question then.
What happens when?
Right. Are you still, in your eye, do you still go, well, not BI, but do you even still go out and get that second super?
Oh, but yeah, absolutely.
I mean, do you, because Kuzma's gonna, I would do it, but Kuzma's gonna step back. If they go get Anthony Davis.
He way back. He's
not
stepping
gonna be that
way
second
back.
star.
You know, probably, but listen.
Now, he can still catch and shoot, so he'll do that. But
I think he's going to be really good, and he'll get nothing but better the rest of
I
the
believe
year.
he's going to be really, really good, too. But he ain't going to be 6'11". No. He ain't going to average.
That's a whole different position and thing.
Anthony Davis, Skip, Anthony Davis is a monster.
It's a whole nother
You see him
discussion.
have 41 last night.
Chris, do you have more time? Will you stick around, come back later?
I will.
All right. Chris is going to take a quick break. Greg Jennings is actually going to take his chair, and we'll discuss should the Cowboys actually be thinking Super Bowl. Skip, don't say anything yet. We'll discuss that coming up next.
No mercy.
Welcome back. Everything is rosy right now in Dallas. The Cowboys have won 5 straight and have a 2-game lead in the NFC East. Jerry Jones said he likes the resiliency that the team showed in their win against the Eagles, and he thinks that will carry into the playoffs. Check it out. Here's Jerry.
Did it look and feel like a team that can win a postseason big ball game?
It does to me because I saw them have every opportunity to get discouraged, to basically let up against a real gallant effort by Philadelphia. But our guys just, they didn't get discouraged.
And to further break this down, we're joined by Fox NFL analyst Greg Jennings. Greg, how far can Dallas go, my man?
Really far, Skip. I'm with you. I hope.
Good.
I'm going to put you out there, but
we're going to keep you on this show for a long time.
They can go really far. They can go really far simply because they're playing at an extremely high level defensively, and offensively they're trending up. When I look at this Dallas Cowboys team, they have all the confidence in the world, and they should, because defensively they believe they can stop anyone. Any passing game, anywhere, anytime. Now, understand that they will have to take their show on the road. And their ability to play well will have to be outside of Cowboys Stadium. And can they do that? I think with what they've been able to do and what they did to the New Orleans Saints a couple weeks ago Thursday night gave them the extreme confidence moving forward for the remainder of the season and going into the playoffs. When you're a team that kind of stumbled all across or through the course of the season, and then you start getting it going at the end of the season, you become one of the scariest teams entering the playoffs. And when I see them offensively, what they can do, teams may not fear them or fear Dak Prescott beating them with the passing game, but what they do fear is a guy on the outside that if he gets the ball in his hands, he can make a big play and he can be a game breaker and a game changer, and that is Amari Cooper. And so when you have that, you have the keys to success right there in your hands. It's a matter of making sure you get it done, and I think they have what it takes to get it done.
Does not.
I believe they can reach the divisional round of the playoffs. I believe it would be very, very difficult for them to go to New Orleans and beat them in the championship game, or go to the Rams and beat them in the championship game. So that means Seattle or maybe a Chicago, because they can still catch Chicago, Skip. Cowboys, theoretically, I believe can get up to the number 3 seed.
They could.
So they'll have a home playoff game, then they'll have to take their show on the road. Do I believe they can I think beating New Orleans would be the more difficult of the two tasks, because I believe the Cowboys playing in L.A. would be a home game for the Cowboys. But I think the Rams are a different team in the warm weather as opposed to what we saw in Soldier Field in 16-degree weather on a Sunday night. The things that concern me, and this is what we know, a team that has an inconsistent quarterback will never get to the Super Bowl. You can't do it, Skip, because we saw what? Blake Bortles, inconsistent, couldn't get there. We saw Case Keenum last year. Just go back and look at it. No matter how good, it's hard for you to overcome the inconsistent, because you know what happens if Dak Prescott turns that ball over 3 times against New Orleans? That's 45. Hung on you. You know that, I know that. You turn that ball over 3 times against the Rams in a championship game, that's 45, and it's over.
By the way, Blake Bortles was up 20-10 at New England in the AFC title game last year. 20-10.
But guess what?
And he did not turn the ball over in the fourth quarter.
And
just for the record.
I don't think it was solely on Blake Bortles, though.
But guess what you need?
Play calling.
Inconsistency. Maybe. Your quarterback's going to have to make a throw. So even if he doesn't turn it over, is he going to be able to make them throw? What about that one for 58 seconds? You said now he got to close that deal, 58 seconds. What about that one to Michael Gallup? Huh? You heard what I said.
Well, you heard what I said. 17 of 20 in the fourth quarter and overtime Sunday for 243 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Is that good?
That's very good.
Great.
That's great.
You turn the ball over 3 times, you won't even get to the fourth quarter.
Okay.
It'll be over.
So, could this team reach the Super Bowl? You better believe it could, because it has nuclear capability. One of these Sundays, my team is actually going to put it all together at once, because that hasn't happened, except for maybe the one aberration game was Jacksonville. And Jacksonville was still pretty good.
No,
maybe they were getting exposed, but they were still the number 1 defense when they rode into Texas Stadium, or Jerry World, as a 3.5 point favorite that day, and they got their doors blown off in the first half. It was 40-7 finally, but it was 24-0 at halftime, and that was without Amari Cooper. And you started to see the offense just went long drive, 3 touchdowns, and finally a field goal just before halftime, and you saw nuclear capability without Amari Cooper.
You also saw Jacksonville's defense capable of quitting.
Okay, maybe they did. But my point is, one of these Sundays, it's all going to click together, because it didn't click against Philadelphia because my quarterback turned it over 3 times and missed a couple of big throws.
What if that's who he is? You keep saying maybe they're going to put it all together. Well, what if that's who he is?
Was he turning the ball over? Did he turn it over at Philly? Did he turn over at Atlanta? Did he turn over against
What
Washington?
about
he's not a high turnover quarterback.
What about the accuracy?
I think he trusts that number 19, doesn't he? He throws accurate balls to 19 every time.
I think when you get into the playoffs, nope, I'm going to let you finish, Skip.
Okay.
Go for it.
So here's the point. Is this team capable of winning at the Rams? Well, again, we saw the Rams in the cold at Chicago, but they got exposed.
Yeah.
Jared Goff didn't exactly look like an MVP candidate to me, right? And Todd Gurley got shut down by a good defense. Have the Rams run into this kind of defense that Dallas has? Could Dallas travel and take that defense to the grass of the Coliseum and win a game? Sure they could. They're that good because the offense can drive the football and keep the other offense off the field. Dallas now leads the NFL in time of possession. Why
Well, they
is
had the
that?
ball 45
Because
minutes.
The quarterback just keeps making a little play and a little play and a little play. Third down conversion. He makes all those little plays. Maybe he misses some big ones, but he makes so many little ones that all of a sudden you say, we just don't have the ball. And this defense, I'm going to say this again. Drew Brees and his offense went 3 for 11 on third down. Carson Wentz, the best quarterback in the NFC, quote unquote, says the man across the
NFC East, I see.
NFC East. 1 of 9 on third down. 1 of 9? So you don't think this defense is shutting these really good quarterbacks down and out? So again, if it all starts to come together, and I think this spread at Indy is just flat out wrong. Again, Vegas isn't buying Dallas. I'm buying Dallas to the point they should not be 3-point underdogs at Andrew Luck. I don't care how hot he is. He's going to have a hard time against this defense. He will not throw his usual party on this defense. Yeah?
300.
I'll take it for a case straight up. I don't even need the points. Right now, one case. No?
The one thing that I would be concerned about if I am the Dallas Cowboys if I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan going into the playoffs, the teams that you play, they will take away what you do best. That is Amari Cooper. And so that means now all of a sudden, Dak Prescott, what we've seen him do when it comes to throwing to anyone other than Amari Cooper, that has to elevate. Michael Gallup, tight end play. One thing that I will say, though, that I love seeing is Ezekiel Elliott had 13 targets out of the backfield receiving this past Sunday.
Caught 12.
Caught 12 of them. If they can do that, and he is a dual threat where he's running the ball and then he's their second option when it comes to passing the ball, they'll be just fine.
And I'm going to throw this out there because you're going to laugh. Tavon Austin is almost back. He tore his groin. He is the icing on a baking cake, and he is really hot icing.
Greg, you don't like cake, do you? If Kayvon Austin is the icing, I don't want that cake.
He can game break.
No, he can't.
He can run past people.
Skip, you said that.
You can run jet sweeps with him, slot reverses with him. You can do all sorts of little big things with Tavon Austin. So don't underestimate. Remember I said this.
But here's the thing that should also concern you. Dak Prescott takes a lot of sacks. He takes a lot of hit. The Rams can get after your quarterback. New Orleans can get after your quarterback.
Sure.
Chicago can get after your quarterback. Seattle, they dial up some pressure. So all the teams that you could possibly face, Skip Bayless, can get after your quarterback and your guy. And what we've seen, when people get to your guy, look who, ball comes out, ball out. That's what they're yelling, Skip, from the sideline, ball out. That's your guy.
That's my guy.
Okay.
My guy's tough, too.
Yeah.
My guy's a warrior, and he can take hits.
And he can escape a lot of them, too.
He can escape, and he can dish it out. He can make those people pay.
Okay.
He is hard. He is Roethlisberger-esque trying to get him on the ground. He's 6'2", 245 or 50 to me. And he can run through a lot of sacks, and he can take a licking and give it back to you. That's what I love about this young man.
Aaron Donald in the warm weather.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, Cam Jordan, those guys' rankings, then go get your quarterback, Skip. And you know what, Khalil Mack. Oh, Khalil Mack. And Hicks.
What do you think of my pass?
I was going to say that, too, though.
Yeah.
What they do Sunday?
That boy, Carson Wentz was looking deer in headlights to me.
He was just missing. Well, we about to see what they do on Andrew. Oh, Andrew.
Where's Ertz? Where's 86? Oh, he's covered. What am I going to do? I don't have my security blanket. I got to throw it in the ground.
How many times?
I got to bounce it to him.
How many times did you get your quarterback?
He went 1 for 9 on third down. Did Carson Wentz? And you're telling me he's the best quarterback in the NFC?
A lot of it was there was no pressure. He just missed throws.
Huh.
I don't believe he's mentally healthy.
Yep.
Physically, it's going to take. Skip, you know how it is. You normally take 2 full years to recover from a serious injury. He'll be just fine.
You know what? Seriously, if Nick Foles had been the quarterback Sunday, I would have been a lot more worried. I would have been a lot more concerned.
Skip,
I told you, Carson Wentz. I don't believe in him.
Skip.
I don't trust him.
We've
been
been on the
good
same.
until then.
Nick
Foles, you got the Super Bowl MVP standing on the sidelines, and don't think that's eating at his psyche. The Super Bowl MVP,
Well,
the
guess
guy
what?
who played the 2 best playoff games of the year last
Well,
year.
he'll get a chance. He'll be free. He'll get a chance to go somewhere next year. Let's see how that work out for him.
Okay.
All right, Greg has to go. You got him excited talking about cake. When is the last time you ate a piece of cake?
Actually, my daughter's birthday was just recently. and I had I had a cupcake.
Indulge.
Cupcakes are the worst.
Well, it's a little.
What?
I'm not a dessert person.
I'm a slice of cake. Give me a slice.
Yeah.
Nice, big old slice.
Cakes
I
are
noticed.
amazing.
You got jokes.
Greg, thanks for joining us as always. How have LeBron and D. Wade remained friends through thick and thin? They've broken up a couple times, but they got back together. We'll discuss that coming up next.
No mercy.
Right now, you're watching Undisputed. Glad to have you with us. And last night, LeBron James and Dwayne Wade were on an NBA court, probably together for the last time. ESPN's Brian Windhorst wrote about their friendship, saying they had a, quote, complicated and wonderful 16 years together that saw them team up and break up twice and win titles twice. Windhorst added that the friendship could have been badly damaged in 2014 when LeBron left the Heat to return to Cleveland, but they somehow patched it up. We're once again joined by Chris Broussard. Chris, what's your view of their friendship?
I really think this is a legitimate family-type relationship. You know, it's not based on we just hang out and kick it and have fun all the time.
Yeah.
You have relationships sometimes with people, whether it's a friend or like a cousin that you don't see all the time. You don't even talk to them a lot. But when you do see them, it's all love. You know, there's real respect and trust there.
Correct.
And that's how I see this relationship. And I think Dwayne Wade, remember, Dwayne Wade is 3 years older than LeBron. Even though they came in together in the draft, he's 3 years older than LeBron. He had a lot of life experience. You know, he married his childhood sweetheart and young and all that, went to college. And I think he is the big brother. You mentioned it earlier. He's like a big brother role in this relationship. And I say it's like a big brother who recognizes that his little brother is a prodigy. And his little brother is better than him. So he makes sacrifices to help his little brother reach the heights that he thinks he can. And Wade has made some major sacrifices in his relationship with LeBron, right? You have $10 million.
Yeah.
But beyond that, Wade gave up his team.
Yeah.
I mean, Wade gave up his team to LeBron, and not right away. That first year in Miami when they failed to win the championship, it was a tug of war.
Yeah.
Because I really think when the big three came together, I think Wade honestly felt, I'm as good as LeBron. Like, it's not him and then me and then Bosh. Like, I'm as good as LeBron, and he had the right to think that way. But I think in that first year, they both took 18 shots a game. LeBron averaged 26, Wade averaged 25. Like, it was a tug of war. Whose team is it? And then the second year, Wade made the sacrifice to step back and give the team to LeBron because he thought that was the best way for them to win. Now, he could have looked at it like, look at what happened to LeBron in the finals. And he could have said, I'm taking over the team. I'm taking it back. I'm the guy that's won the championship.
Plus, it's my team. I've been here.
Right, I've been here. But he gave it to LeBron. And I wrote a story in I believe their second championship year together, about how Wade was the first and I think the only NBA player up to that time, you can argue if Steph has done this, but who was an alpha and who was in his prime and willingly gave his team up willingly to another guy. And Eric Spoelstra read that story to the team in the locker room.
Wow.
And then Wade personally thanked me. Like, I saw him and he thanked me for the story. He understands, like, I think, and I don't think most people recognize how much of a sacrifice he was. Because I think he really stepped back and was like maybe 80% of the player he could have been individually to help them win. So, and we mentioned, the $10 million. That's a heck of a sacrifice in 2014. But I think Wade understands. We always look at it like LeBron, if he hadn't gone to Miami and learned how to win under Wade, he wouldn't have those championships. And that might be true or not. But I think Wade also understands, like one thing that helped him make the sacrifices, he understands LeBron helped him get to new heights too. What he wrote on the jersey last night, thanks for helping me become better than I thought I could. Remember, after Wade won it in 06, 07, out in the first round. 08, no playoffs, period. 09 and 10, out in the first round. He understood, like, I'm not even getting to the second round of the playoffs by myself. LeBron gets there, and all of a sudden, they're a circus, and they're winning championships. So I think that Wade's made a lot of sacrifices, and he understands LeBron did too, because LeBron was the one taking the heat. When he went to Miami, LeBron was the one getting criticized, getting killed. Wade wasn't.
No.
And I think Wade recognized that.
So it sounds like you deserved a ring in 2012, right? Seriously, they should have given you a
If the
ring.
Heat is listening, I'll take that.
Well, you contributed. You'll let me go?
Yeah.
So, this is just me. Brian Windhorst wrote about this. It was up yesterday on ESPN.com. We both know Brian. Great respect for him. He's covered LeBron since whenever, since he was 10 years old. Right. And Brian is plugged in. He wrote an insightful, powerful, pretty gutsy piece yesterday about what could have happened to this friendship. And his point was that the Wade-James relationship easily could have been badly damaged in 2014. I thought it was going to be because I thought it was a low blow that LeBron gave to his big brother, Dwayne. And Brian points out that Dwayne was not even the first to be told about the sort of 11th hour decision to go home. I'm coming home, right? And he was told, I think, on a flight back. When didn't they take a private
From
flight
Vegas.
back? Yeah.
Is that when he told?
Miami.
Did he tell him on that
I
flight?
think he told him on the flight back.
Because I'm wondering who he's saying were the first. Because
to know?
obviously he told Sports Illustrated.
He did tell Sports Illustrated, but he said
But
there
I
are
don't know
other
if he
close
told
friends that he
anybody.
told
Probably
before.
Rich Paul and Matt.
Well, they
and
knew,
Rick.
of
Yeah.
You would
course,
think
yeah.
that for sure, but I think it went beyond that.
Maybe Chris Paul.
Maybe.
Because Chris
Yeah, you know what? That's possible.
You think?
Chris Paul, they say Chris is his best friend.
And-
See, I would think if he told Chris, though, he would tell Dwayne.
Okay.
I would
But
think,
obviously,
yeah.
Dwayne had already made a sacrifice to get LeBron there the first time and took less money. And then he had opted out so that they could both opt back in together and finish together in Miami. And it cost him, as you say, an estimated $10 million. And then to cap this off, Dwayne could have gone to Golden State ahead of last season and maybe tried to take a ride for one last hurrah ring. And instead, he joined LeBron in Cleveland. And yet at the trade deadline, when you were throwing a parade for all the moves they made, because they were really good moves, one quiet move was exit stage left. They just said, Dwayne, we're going to ship you back to Miami. Nice to send him back to Miami, but according to Brian Windhorst, LeBron did not stand in the way of them shipping out Dwayne, his best friend and big brother. So for me, I try to put myself somehow in Dwayne's shoes. Man, I just have a hard time with this because LeBron made a pretty cold-blooded business decision in 2014 because it looked like Dwayne's knees off that finals against the Spurs when they got blown out by a record finals margin. It looked like his knees were maybe not shot, but on his last legs, right? And did that factor into LeBron? Sure it did. He's saying, I just don't know how much farther I can go with him as my second star.
You know, it was reported that there were some nights LeBron would get to the arena and he would be told that D-Wade is not going. And so obviously, you know, well, how much further can this thing go, or how much can Dwayne help me get my ultimate goal? You know, being friends with someone that's on equal footing is not as easy as you think. It's easy. You know, I have friends that I grew up with, and obviously I went on to do what I did, but we're still friends. Now, imagine, as you said, D-Wade actually saw himself as an equal to LeBron. Well, if I'm equal, why do I got to concede? Why you can't concede? Why does your goals, your agenda, I want to be a big movie star, I want to be an icon too. But I think D-Wade understood that, you know what, yes, I want to be, but Nike ain't give me no $91 million contract out the gate. And you know, Skip, I think LeBron, the businessman, and LeBron, the professional athlete, the basketball player, they're two different people. Because he's like, okay, yeah, we can play basketball together, and I'm trying to win. But business is something entirely different what I'm actually trying to do over here. So I'm going to, like last night, okay, yeah, we're best friends. But when you get on that court, I'm trying to beat you.
Well, sure. Yeah. No, I got that. But in the end, to me, Dwayne is also a businessman.
Yes.
Dwayne is a shrewd operator.
Yes.
And I think he swallowed all of his pride through 2014 and then what happened at the trade deadline last year because he knew it was coming to an end and he wanted to keep the business lines open with his best connection, LeBron James, because Dwayne knew that he and Gabrielle would want to live in L.A. And they would want to be close friends and connected to the ultimate connection, LeBron James in Los Angeles, right? Yeah. He is a power broker.
You think Wade is looking down the line, I want to be connected to
Because
this
what's
stuff
Dwayne
around
love?
me.
He loves fashion. He wants to have his own fashion line. Nobody can help you in that world better than LeBron James.
But being friends, Skip, let me tell you, my senior year in high school, Skip, I was a pretty good basketball player. Okay, be honest, I was a damn good basketball player. And people started to come to write stories on me. Well, they did a story on me, and my coach was speaking. Now, I didn't say this. My coach said this. My coach said, I stressed the team concept to the team. But if we're a car, Shannon's the engine. My teammates took a vote to vote me off the team. They voted 10-1 to kick me off the team. 10-1.
Sound like it was toxic.
Damn.
Sounds like you weren't that good.
But the coach had to put me on. Hold on, Skip. Now, as long as this thing.
What do you give us? I want to hear this story.
There's a backstory.
Right.
There's more to this.
We on the team. You know, we play. A lot of us play football together. But what I noticed is that long as everybody was getting that shine, and not one got. I didn't say this. I can see if I said it. I told the story that hey, look, coach said we're a team, but I'm the engine. But the coach said it.
So what happened after that? Did they freeze you out?
They freeze me out.
Yeah.
Coach said he on the team.
Yeah.
He our best player. Why y'all get mad at him when I said it?
So where did the season end? In the playoffs?
Yeah. We went to the playoffs because everybody get to go to the playoffs.
What was y'all record?
No,
I don't even remember. I was upset.
Did you lose the first playoff game?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Because I believe they tried to stall me out. Skip.
Yeah, and you got one shot in that game.
But Skip, I couldn't. It hurt me that we grew up together. I mean, Glenville is only 3,000 people. We only had, my graduating class was 63 people. So we grew up together. And because of something, you gonna let that come between us? So it was never the same.
It was toxic.
It was never the same, Skip Bayless.
Toxic.
There were 63 people in the graduating class, and 10 of them voted you off the team.
I can't do that to me, Skip.
At least 50 other people.
Once again,
what?
You opened your mouth to the media, right?
Skip, the coach said it. The coach says, I stress the team concept, but if we're a car, Shannon's the engine. I didn't say it.
Oh, I thought you
repeated
said
it.
No, I didn't say it. It was they read the paper.
Chris, we voted 10-1. We'd like to keep you, but we got to move on. Thank you for being with us as always. Love his insight. He's going to go on and on. We got to move on. So coming up next, what is really going on in Green Bay? Former Packers coach Winston Moss will answer that question.
No mercy.
And that was former Packers assistant coach Winston Moss on Sunday joking around about Aaron Rodgers. And we now have the pleasure of Winston joining us in the studio now. Thank you for being here, Winston.
Thank you. You guys set me up with that? You bringing me in with that?
And I'm going to ask the hard question.
No, but first of all, I have to do this. The pregame show didn't let me do it. Coward didn't let me do it. I want to give a shout out to my wife, Sorla, my family and friends, and the Packer Nation. They have shown all the love and support that you can have. And so I thank them for it. And the Packer Nation, all that tweet was about, it's title town. We need to bring that trophy back home, man. That was that whole tweet was all about. And so that's all I'm about. So I want to get that out there.
Okay, that's
so
fair.
Fire off.
Got it.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
My question was,
Let's go.
They say that there's truth in every comment that's made. How much truth is in that comment?
Truth in every half joke. It was full joke. I felt like taking shots, and so I let me tell you something. That shot is in no way comparison to our linebacker room with Clay Matthews, and I got to deal with Clay Matthews and Nick Perry and those guys. Back in the day, A.J. Hawk, Nick Barnett, those guys used to fire off on me. I used to have to defend myself, and so, Shannon, the banter that goes around in the locker room.
Right.
And so that's all that was. That's all that was, period, point blank.
But you understand that when you firing off in the locker room, those comments don't leave the locker room. But when you tweet something public about that guy, you know how it's going to be perceived.
Now we're switching gears.
Yeah.
Now, that tweet involving A-Rod was taken totally out of context. The next coach is going to have to coach a $140 million quarterback.
Right.
So in context, it was from you got to be able to handle the number one guy to the 53rd guy.
Right.
And I pointed Aaron out to be specific in now. I could have just made a general tweet in that the organization and all the players could have been jetted up,
Right.
but I made it a point to say A-Rod is going to have to be the top dog all the way down to the last man on the practice squad. You're going to have to be able to coach them all. You're going to have to be able to deal with all of them. You're going to have to be able to hold them all to that Lombardi standard. We got to get back to that Lombardi standard. The issue that I had was the last 2 years we've been losing, with A-Rod, without A-Rod. And it got to my breaking point. Mark Murphy's breaking point was Arizona. My breaking point has been the last 2 years. I come from the University of Miami.
You do.
And at Miami, we established a culture that changed. We were game changers. And so that's all I'm used to. Now, I've had ups and downs in my career as a player, had ups and downs in my careers as a coach. But the bottom line is there's still passion and a burning desire to me. I hate losing. I hate losing. I hate losing more than I love winning. And so that's what that whole tweet was about. It's about, hey, the next coach is going to have to come in there and be able to take charge of Aaron, take charge of the personnel department, take charge of the defense, offense, special teams.
Is Aaron easy to coach?
And of course he is. Of course he is. And I want to put something to bed here. There's been so much speculation about the rift between McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers. There is none. Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Fame coach, a Hall of Fame player. Mike McCarthy has had a great run in Green Bay. We didn't get it done this year as a team. And as a team, when you don't win, you get fired. Coaches get fired. Players get fired. You don't get it done, you end up getting, hey, you got to go. I'll give you a story. I'm in New Orleans. This is 2005. We go through Hurricane Katrina. We went 3-13. You thought we would get a pass. Oh, they went through the worst catastrophe in New Orleans history. You think we would get a pass? 3-13. No, you guys got to go. Mm-hmm. You got to go. So the bottom line in this league is winning. And you have got to be a tough guy, tough person, tough-minded. Your mindset has got to be on to be able to handle the NFL. Point blank. Right. You've got to be a tough guy, period.
So what I've always respected about you is you have always spoken your mind. And it sounded like, from what I read, you spoke it so much that they wouldn't let you speak to the media this year on your weekly availability, right? Didn't they have you back off that?
No, that was a little bit on both ends because that's a totally different deal. I was a little disgusted with the media based upon how the way they were treating my players, how the way the whole season went down. I asked some of the media a question about they jumped the gun and they had me fired. And so that riled me up. Throughout the whole offseason, they were taking shots at my group, and I wasn't having it. And so when we got into the offseason program and I had a couple chances to talk to them, I kind of let them have it, and so we came back in the training camp, and they said, "Hey, listen, you got a chance to talk to these guys. If you're not going to clean your act up and play nice, we're going to have to ask you to, and I said, I can't promise you that. And so, okay. With that business, because I wanted to speak my mind, and they wanted it more to be PC, be candid and not candid, have canned answers and do that. That's not me. That's not me.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you how it is.
Tell me how this is. This man and I go back and forth about Aaron Rodgers. I'm a fan, but he's a super fan. He says he's the greatest quarterback ever. He's transcendent, the greatest thrower of the football ever. And I say, show me something. Show me results, because you did win one Super Bowl, but it was it was 8 years ago. And since then, Aaron is 5-6 in the postseason. I can show you the 5 wins, and they were a little bit, dare I say, tainted. They weren't high-quality wins to me over Joe Webb or Kirk Cousins. I can keep going on all of them. The Dez Bryant catch game, the giant boat trip game at Lambeau, and then Mason Crossbar makes those 2 field goals at Dallas from 56 and 51, but I'll leave that be. So I look at this year, and he argues this man has thrown 23 touchdowns to 1 interception. But the big number is 5, 7, and 1. And that's the number that ate at you, right? Because that's not good enough. If you're that guy, you can't be 5, 7, and 1, no matter how many other deficiencies your team has. And Aaron has now shattered the all-time record for throwaways. He will just, if he doesn't love what he sees, he lets go of the football sideways. Okay? And his completion percentage ranks 25th in the NFL. Yards per attempt, he's 19th in the NFL. These are the numbers that scream at me, wait a second, what's going on here? Those all contribute to 5, 7, and 1. So Aaron has to take he's playing the most important position. He has to take the bulk of the blame. Is that fair for what happened this year?
Shannon, we got to stick together, brother.
Yep. Here we go.
You know what I'm talking about.
We got to stick together, brother.
AFC West, we go way back. Seattle and the Raiders.
It's not about the stats. It's not about the stats. It's about brotherhood, camaraderie. It's about complementary. It's about the offense feeding off the defense feeding off the offense, and defense feeding off the special teams. So throw those stats out the window. You can have interceptions and you can have touchdowns, but it all depends on momentum.
Yep.
When it's thrown in the game, how it's thrown in the game, when the defense makes a stop, when the defense is giving, and you got to be able to feed off each other, and that goes down to brotherhood. If you're tight in that locker room and you have each other's back, then you guys pick up for one another. Some way, somehow. You take Baltimore Ravens, right? And the year they won that Super Bowl. And so you take it and say to yourself, they shouldn't have won it. But that defense picked up for the offense and the special teams and whatnot. Were you on that team?
I was.
And you were on that team. And so
Which one are we talking about?
2000.
So he totally understands where you pick it up. But then again, you can flip the switch. You can go Brady. Brady, in the Super Bowls they've won lately, Brady has been able to exemplify how you can win with a defense that gives up yards, and sometimes points. But in this past Super Bowl, when they beat Atlanta,
yes, 2 Super Bowls ago.
And so 2 Super Bowls ago, a defensive player makes a great play. I want to say the linebacker makes a great play.
He did.
Hightower makes a great play, game-changing play.
It did.
In our game in 2010, Clay Matthews, game-changing fumble. And so you need those type of plays in key moments of the game. You can debate this forever. In the National Football League, the game always comes down to 4 or 5 plays.
Yep.
And who's going to make those 4 or 5 plays determines the game, because the skill level is so even to where that's the bottom line. That's what it comes down to.
So even our guy, Greg Jennings, has sat in that seat and said Aaron can be a little difficult because he can be a little bit aloof sometimes and a little bit little arrogant with he's quick to blame receivers for running the wrong route. Does that not affect the locker room a little bit?
Did Peyton Manning not jump on his receivers? Did Elway jump on his receivers? Does Tom Brady jump on his receivers?
Not as much. Show them up?
The bottom line is all great players. Over here, this, and I know we played against each other, and we talked so much trash. Arrogant players. We bring, because it brings out an energy in you. If I talk to you, Holly, and you gonna bring it back to me, I'm gonna elevate your game. You're gonna elevate my game.
I'll bring it back.
That's how the way it works. You're gonna bring it back to me.
So you're saying that's a necessary evil of being a professional athlete, is that the great players demand greatness from the players around them.
And they bring them up.
Okay.
They bring them up.
So
you must have a competitive environment, a competitive spirit. Are you gonna tell me Ray Lewis wasn't a factor?
Sure.
Are you gonna tell me? You can't tell me Tom Brady's a factor. You can't tell me Drew Brees isn't a factor.
Okay.
With his
Yeah.
passion. You undeniable.
Okay.
Undisputed.
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 Better quarterback.
Come on now.
Better quarterback, Brady or Rodgers, right now. Better quarterback.
Rodgers is a more talented quarterback, by far none. I've been with the Packers for 13 years, and I've seen Aaron Rodgers make some unbelievable throws.
But
Tom Brady, I would say, to completely answer your question, and Packer Nation, don't kill me on this. Brady and Belichick has been able to manage games in which they have stolen games. They have stole games based upon the managing of games, the managing of offensive schemes, and in complementary.
You're the master of situations.
To play defense along with that. And so they've done a great job of that. And so that has resulted in them winning, 5 out of the last 10 Super Bowls? So.
Brady and Belichick.
Winston, thank you so much, Winston, for being with us. Welcome to Undisputed. Come back anytime, please.
Appreciate it, boss.
way to go.
All right, we're back after this.
Good deal.
No mercy.
Well, a few weeks ago, it looked like Eli Manning would not be the Giants starter next year, but now they've won 4 of their last 5 games. Eli will be 38 years old next month, but SNY reports it is, quote, looking more and more likely every week that Eli will be the starter next season. Shannon, are you surprised by this news?
I am, Skip, but this is what happens when your quarterback plays good down the stretch. We saw Jacksonville, they ignored all the warning signs of what transpired in his previous years and just looked at the last 3 games. Now, the Giants are doing the exact same thing. They're looking at the last 4 games when they beat a bad Bears team without Trubisky.
They did.
They beat a Niners team. They beat a Bucs team.
Yep.
So, and a battered Washington Redskins team. So now
they had Philly down 19-14 going to the fourth quarter and lost that game. But
so are we gonna just gloss over this 1-7? So we're just gonna move past that, huh, Skip? This didn't happen. Come on, Giant. But you're gonna find yourself, and guess what? You get off to a slow start again next year, and they'll start, oh, Eli's terrible. He'll win a few games, and guess what? In 2020, they'll be Skip, it's hard to let go of a guy that's been so good for your franchise. He's won your Super Bowl. He made you prominent again. And it's so hard to let that go.
Yep.
But Eli is who he is. Now, there's not a whole lot in free agency. Tyrod Taylor be a free agent. Teddy Bridgewater's a free agent. How much do you like the quarterback from Oregon? Or how much do you like the guy from Auburn? Or how much do you like some of the guys coming out? But the Giants are going to be in the same position again next year this time, talking about Skip. We should have gone in and got a quarterback. Eli is not going to, they're not going anywhere. I'm sorry, with Eli.
I feel sorry for New York Giants football fans. This guy will not go away. He will not leave you alone. He's Freddy Krueger. He's Jason in Friday the 13th. He's Mike Myers. He just keeps haunting you because he's always just good enough that you say, well, maybe. But to your point, yeah, but look at this. Look at his overall QBR for this year. He ranks 26th in the NFL. But touchdowns, interceptions, 18-8. You say, it's not bad. It's not bad. And he's still Eli, right?
Yeah, but the dude is 13 games in. He has 18 touchdowns.
You know?
Really? With the way the league is set up for you to succeed today.
Okay.
You got 18 tubs.
But your option is Kyle Lauletta, or can you really get up to draft one of these kids, or do you love one of these kids? I'm not sure I love one of those kids you just brought up.
You got to get up. You're in the 8th spot. You selected 8 right now.
Okay.
You lose a game or 2, you'll be in the top 5 again.
You better, but knowing Eli, he's going to win out.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to win out.
You're probably right,
And it's going to make you sit back and say, you know what? He's still Eli Manning. I know he's 38, but look what Brady's doing at 41. He beat Tom Brady twice.
Yeah,
and that's
everybody's holding
That's his
on to
legacy.
Yes.
And he had two playoff bursts where they got hot and he got hot.
Yeah. But look at the overall body of work, and like you said, Skip. Okay, yeah, those Super Bowl runs, he was as good as they had in the NFL. But I mean, his career is more than 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, but he's royalty. He's Archie. He's Peyton.
But
he's Eli.
At some point in time, Skip, they moved on from Tom Coughlin.
Yeah.
Even though he won some, Tom Coughlin was the coach of those Super Bowl winning teams, and they moved on from Tom.
Yep.
Just because you win unless you're Coach Belichick when you win 5.
No, I know.
You should have a lifetime contract.
I just don't see an exit strategy here. It seems like you're stuck.
Well, you can move on, Skip.
Yeah.
You can. Or you're going to be stuck in 2019, 2020.
You are. I would agree.
And we can move on because we only have a couple minutes left in the show. Coming up next is John Gruden building a championship team in Oakland. Is that possible? We'll discuss that coming up next.
No mercy.
And time for our final topic of the day. The Raiders have had a very disappointing season, but they did have a huge upset win over the Steelers on Sunday. And after the game, John Gruden said, quote, "The young guys are getting confidence. All the things I believe a championship organization is made of were on display yesterday." Shannon, you like these comments from Gruden?
Yeah, Gruden's right. He should be executive of the year because he's made 2 team championships. The Bears and the Cowboys. By trading Amari Cooper and Khalil Mack, Skip, he's turned 2 teams into title contenders.
You got a lot back, right?
Really? Because guess those picks, guess where they are now? 24 and 26. Now, you believe Dallas is going to continue to win. So guess what that means? Those picks could be somehow 28, 30. The Bears.
32?
Yeah. So, in other words, now what you thought you were going to have top 5, top 10, the only top 5 pick you're going to have is yours. So, no.
So, I still believe John Gruden will be successful ultimately with the Oakland Raiders than the Las Vegas Raiders. And I think that was an important first-year win against Pittsburgh because he had to tear it down to start to build it back up with his players, and his players did buy in, and they beat Pittsburgh. So that was fairly impressive.
Think about
they don't want to win any more games because they're still holding on to that number 1 overall pick right now.
Think about it, Skip, what you're saying. He traded Amari Cooper, who's the hottest receiver in football. He traded a guy in Khalil Mack, who's probably going to finish second in the defensive MVP, defensive player of the year, to Aaron Donald. And they got better. No, they didn't.
Well,
he made the Bears and the Cowboys. Now they're talking about they thinking Super Bowl. While you thinking about the number 1 overall pick. Let that sink in for a second.
Well, he's got 10 years to figure this out, right?
Did we settle the due deal? Is it 1 or 2 cases?
No, we got plenty of time. We got tomorrow.
I'll do 1 case with no points. I'm going straight up.
I think we can get to 2. I think you hold out.
Let's see.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.